What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Game Over Greggy Show. I am one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer/seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. You tired?
No, I'm actually
It's been a long week for you.
It's been a long week for me.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a second.
Absolutely.
Over here, the Pride of Long Island, Colin Moriarty. First down. The Jets. They're here. That's it. When are they going to... How
They're 1-0, Greg. 1-0.
How famous do you have to get? Now you've dated this video. Maybe they're 1-1 now. Maybe they're something for sure. They definitely are 1-0.
They have a record. They've won a game, though. They've won a game.
How famous do you have to get, you think, so that when you go to the Meadowlands, there's a Colin Moriarty statue out front, you bronze, doing the first down?
Me and Joe Namath out front?
Yeah.
I want to get you there so badly.
That'd be awesome.
So we're doing that right here on kindoffunny.com, so that's the whole point.
I have to be one of the 10,000 most well-known fans of the Jets. Right? I gotta be in that list.
What a ridiculous thing to say.
I gotta be in that list, right? I gotta be in the, like, if you know,
You're easily in that list.
in the biggest names of Jets fans. I'm
like
in the top
alive?
10,000.
Like
Yeah.
one of the top 1,000?
No,
Just
10,000.
jump? Okay,
10,000.
I was making sure you still said 10.
Wait, before we continue with the intros, can I ask, are the Jets a hugely popular team in the grand scheme of things? Like right now, are they going to win the Super Bowl?
No.
Are they favored for any of this stuff?
No,
Okay,
no,
yeah, so
definitely
you're
not.
easily top 9,000.
People actually sent me a map real
Moving on
quick.
up.
So they released this map, and it was going around the internet. And it was county by county who the favorite teams were in every county, and the Jets were the favorite team in none of the counties, including Long Island, 2 counties.
Wow.
And I was actually talking to people online. I'm like, I grew up there. There are definitely more Jets fans than Giants fans on Long Island. I don't believe the statistics. I really feel like it's based on TV viewership, which would make more sense, I guess. But that was a little confusing to me. I'm like, I don't think so. Those 2 counties would
I
definitely.
mean, it's
be
just
Jets
because they haven't been to a Super Bowl in a really long time.
since 1969.
Yeah, so that's probably why they're not in vogue.
And then for the Islanders, I think I'm in the top 1,000 most well-known Islanders fans.
I guarantee you are. I'm going to give you top 500. Islander
Okay, I'll
fans.
take it.
'Cause
what about-
that includes the guys that
I
play
guess
for the
this is
team.
a great point. Like, I think, when we're talking about fans, you're not talking about ex-players. So Joe Willie Namath doesn't count, correct?
No.
All
He's number
right.
1 though.
Yeah, of course.
Well, maybe he does count. Sure, he
Okay.
counts. Okay.
Sure.
And then you got the guy from
Still there.
Entourage,
Yeah.
Eric E.
Yeah.
He was a big
E-Money.
fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're off in the weeds. I don't know. Jimmy Fallon. I
You're
don't
number
know.
3.
Yeah.
Colin's
I'm the
officially
third
number
most
3.
I'm
well-known
going
Jets
3.
fan.
I'm going
Yeah.
three.
Cool. Let us know in the comments who you think the most well-known Jets fan is. Over here, the pure one, Tim Gettys.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Tim. How are you?
Good.
How tired are you?
I'm very tired.
Yeah.
But I'm very good.
All right. So now let's get to the heart of the matter here, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we get into an interesting thing. Of course, the Game Over Greggy Show each week is 4, sometimes 5 best friends gathered around this table, each bringing a random topic of discussion for your amusement. If you like that. Now, this is where we're in uncharted territories, and it gets weird because we
Uncharted.
El goddamn Dorado. We put up the video, but we also put up the audio podcast. So we tell you all the time you can get the audio podcast the Friday before everything else comes out. Now, here's where we're into a time paradox, ladies and gentlemen. If we are tickling your eardrums right now and you're listening to us Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, you have the inside scoop. We've been putting up all these images.
Little teasers.
Little teasers. We're up to something. We keep saying, hashtag GameOverGreggy evolves. GameOverGreggy, the YouTube channel, knock on wood. This is the other thing. We're baking the cake as we talk about it, which is never ends well
Never
for
good,
anybody.
yeah.
But we have to do it. It's dead. YouTube.com/GameOverGreggy. Dead. Gone. It's been what we've leveled up. We've evolved into kindoffunny.com. YouTube.com/kindoffunny. Right there was a big thing that we got to make sure that works now. But what I'm saying is it's changed. The big reveal of all this happens on Monday. We're incredibly excited. We're all working on this right now. We're going live with this Hunter Pence video, this rap video.
Yes.
If you haven't seen it,
A very fun rap video.
yeah, a
that
comedy
we
rap.
spent
video,
a lot
some
of time
would say.
making, a lot of fun making it.
Right.
And I'm excited.
That was
for
actually
it.
the
You guys
most.
should be excited.
That was
for
probably my favorite shoot I've ever done. by the
Really?
way. Yeah.
That's good.
I think so.
And we
Heads
did
up
it for
too.
you.
If you're watching, ladies and gentlemen, this is my topic too, by the way. So we're just into the weeds here of a million things happening.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure.
Because there is a lot going on.
There's
but
too
at the
much
end of the
going
day, all of this is for the best friends out there.
Right. Well, we're not
Trying
even
to
done. So like,
help them in different ways.
Exactly. So the whole point of this is like, if you on top of the Hunter Pence video on Monday going live, also on Monday, instead of the show going live, a video is going live for our Patreon page. Patreon.com/kindoffunny. And this is the great news. If you want any of these links, you can just go to kindoffunny.com. Right, Nick?
Absolutely.
And they'll all be there working like a charm.
Me with my just masterful mastery of HTML.
I hope it's just
I'm just gonna.
I hope kindoffunny.com is just a white web page with blue hyperlinks to all the things we're talking about.
That's probably all it's gonna be.
That's all it needs to be to get going. But
I don't know. The video went well. The edit went well on the Hunter Pence video, so I've got a little extra time.
Good.
Well,
I mean,
Hunter Pence
we're
is a
still
famous
here.
baseball player.
Right.
everybody.
There's
that does it now.
sorry if this all sounds convoluted and jumbled, but it's one of those things where we all had a different task to do here in this thing. And we've all run off to the four corners of the earth to do it. And now we're finally getting to come back together and talk about it. And so we're all catching up as we go to make sure this works. But so for the listeners at home, if you're the viewer, you already caught the Monday video. I'm sorry. You have to sit through this again, kind of. The idea here is that almost 3 years ago, I started this YouTube channel, right?
Was it that long ago?
Right? Yeah. It'll be, I mean, yeah, it would be,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And I started this YouTube channel, GameOverGreggy, and the idea was that I wanted a creative outlet, and I wanted to make goofy videos with Colin. I thought this would be cool to talk to him there. It'd be fun to make this Oreo video. I'd learn how to edit video, and I'd have fun. It was only I was out there looking for myself.
It was all about you.
It was, yeah. Fuck you. Classic. And that happened, but then along the way, these chuckleheads all started getting more and more involved. Originally, if you remember, Colin, I had to sell you on Conversation with Colin. You were like, it's not going to be funny. It's not going to work. Why would I want to do this? And I'll never forget, we did 3 Conversation with Collins. We did like 18 that day, but we finished the 3rd, and as we were resetting, you leaned back and you went, I guess I do say crazy stuff sometimes. And I was like, yes.
There was literally, when I started editing those, and I'm sure you'll get to that time period, there is one quote, because remember we used to do the pull quotes in the beginning of them, where it would just be Colin's random
still
quote.
do that, yeah.
And he's like, the ant is an ingenious animal.
That was the first episode.
That was the first one.
Was that the very first
You
one?
didn't edit that, but yeah.
I thought I edited that
No,
one, didn't I?
you didn't edit for a long. That's the whole point. Is that remember I took them to learn how to edit and do everything. So I started going down that road, and then we all started getting more and more into the YouTube channel and more serious about what we do. Of course, Tim was the one who has been on this YouTube bandwagon forever. He was making videos before I think any of us knew YouTube was going to be a thing. We're all like, I'll tell you what the future is: written articles, 7-page reviews at GTA,
Print magazine.
That's what
Print
the future
magazine's
is.
the future. It's coming
So.
back.
You know, it was a slow dawn. I mean, I came back. The whole reason I started the channel was because of VidCon, right? The 3 VidCons ago when I went to VidCon, and I was like, I came back and I was like, whoa, this
So
is.
it's been 2 years then.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But it's.
Because we just passed VidCon.
I mean, we can
But,
tell.
so we're into the 3rd year.
Yeah,
of,
we,
okay.
we're just, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that makes more sense.
That was
We're
our
not that old.
3rd VidCon that we just went to. Correct.
Right. So that would have been our 2nd anniversary there. So now we're into. Okay, whatever. Thanks, Tim.
You're welcome. Just
Yes. Pure one.
Facts.
Came back. Super excited about it. Started doing it. And then, remember, we asked you to come film it, show us how to work stuff.
Right.
And then you guys never left. You kept coming back. And we're like,
It was fun.
It was fun.
I remember when Colin and I made $100 off of like 3 months of YouTube. And I'm like, do you want some of this money? You guys were like, nah. And then you don't even eat pizza because you're some kind of psychopath. So we couldn't even pay you on that.
I think I ate
I ate
pizza
the pizza.
once.
Yeah,
Tim ate
I had
pizza.
a lot of pizza.
Yeah, you had a lot of pizza here. But then, you know, we all started getting more and more into it, and we all started investing more and more time into it, and then it became that, then you guys started helping me with edits because I was going to blow my brains out editing Oreos by myself. And then, obviously, the podcast starts. Colin starts writing our tweets. Tim starts doing the headlines and the blog roll images. Nick makes sure all the equipment works and we know what's happening. We're now outsourcing work to this young gentleman we picked up at a Home Depot over here.
Thanks for the lumber, by the way.
And so we had to have a conversation, right? That the fact that the term GameOverGreggy didn't really apply anymore. And it would be weird that we want to do more content for you guys. We want to make more videos. We want to do different things with us and the brand and the company we've made here. And to have done that on GameOverGreggy would have been weird. It would be very weird when if you're listening and you haven't seen the 100 Pence video yet. Imagine that going up on GameOverGreggy and there's like literally 2 seconds of me in that video. That would be weird. It would make sense to us and anybody who watches the GameOverGreggy show, right? That, oh, well, yeah, Tim's part of it in there, but all best friends, blah, blah. But still, people tweet at me every day going like, that was an interesting headline you put on that video. Or I don't know about, I don't even know what they're talking about. Somebody's like, I love the annotations. I can't believe you finally followed Colin around when Colin does his stupid click on this. I'm like, I didn't. Kevin did all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Colin probably didn't know that happened last week.
No, someone
It was
tweeted at
amazing.
me. I think,
Yeah.
and that was,
Yeah.
and so like it's one of those
That's good.
things.
Thank you for that.
We've
Thank you.
literally evolved over time, and now it's time to change that and make sure that it grows with us. And so
Yeah.
that, you know, I mean,
Now, to be clear on this, the GameOverGreggy show is still the GameOverGreggy
Right.
show. So GameOverGreggy is not dead.
yeah, I just meant the URL.
Exactly, but I just to
and
make
also
it
the
clear to them.
YouTube.coms. All of our old URLs still work. You can
Yeah.
still get to everything the old way.
Correct. It is just what we are trying to do. We are trying to do something bigger.
Right.
We are trying to do something that we can grow with. All of us grow with you guys and do more of what you want and all this stuff because it's hard for us. Like doing this show is so much fun and we love doing it. Doing conversation with Colin, Oreo, all that stuff is fun. New stuff. Who knows?
Yeah.
We know. We got a lot of stuff planned.
Yeah, we do.
But to do a lot of stuff, we need to be able to like have that path to grow. And when we explain things to people, like, oh, we do this thing. We need people to stop looking at it as, oh, it's your side thing. It's like, this is a thing.
Yeah.
You know, it is a thing, and we need to have that thing. And Kind of Funny is the thing that we decided on.
Right. I think that when we took a long time figuring out the name, and ultimately Tim had some great ideas for the name. And
I
we
still like mouth pudding.
mouth pudding was good. That was one of them. That was not serious.
There were
but one of
so
them.
many terrible.
I know, just
names.
absolutely terrible. Mouth pudding was one of the names that Nick
We
brought
shouldn't
up.
say the rest because they're not terrible. They're amazing.
They're good shows. There's some great shows. in there.
But
One day we'll do a list video of all the amazing names that we came up with for this
That's
channel.
awesome.
But I think that kind of funny describes us aptly, just because we're not extremely funny and it unintentionally funny would probably be the best.
Yeah, I
if it was
definitely
just
wouldn't
me.
put us in the extremely funny.
No,
category.
but
Yeah,
we're kind
also
of funny,
not-
and we
not funny.
No, we're not funny, which is a double negative, but. Regardless. But Wednesdays in particular, when we record this show and we get together, is really the highlight of my week because it allows us to get together. I think we have a good we have a good kind of energy with each other, and we like making videos with each other. And it seems like we've been doing it a lot longer together than we actually have been.
Yeah. We haven't even been doing this show a year.
No, and Game Over Greggy will, the Game Over Greggy show will continue to be our flagship, and you'll get conversation with Colin, and you'll get all that other kind of stuff. We'll get to it eventually, I promise. But what I'm most excited about, like Tim was saying, was the prospect of doing something different. I love that everyone wants a conversation with Colin back. What I really want, eventually, for everyone to want, is something new, like the rap video we just did, or something that is bigger and better and grander, and we can do that as kind of funny. And so that's very exciting.
That's the big thing, is like nothing. Tim was talking about this when we were going through a script for the Patreon video. It was like nothing you guys like about the channel or what we do is going away. In fact, it's only getting easier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the huge thing. I mean, we're jumping around a lot, guys, and I'm sorry that like seems so crazy, but that's what
I
the
think it
show
seems-
is.
Yeah, we don't script this shit.
Yeah. We've been
Clearly.
talking about this stuff so much, so to us, it's all just like, oh, we all know what we're talking about. But for you guys, like, to make this clear, we are trying to do this thing where you guys can help support us with Patreon, which will allow us to do new stuff, do bigger stuff, do more stuff. But also in doing that, you are supporting iTunes and SoundCloud.
Yeah.
So this is an announcement right now, unless you saw the other videos. This might be an announcement to you. We're going free.
Time paradox.
Like, in addition to us asking for your help, we are also going more free than we ever have, where every week you could get it in addition to YouTube on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, any of the podcast places you get it for free. So
this is delayed a week.
it's delayed a week, yes. So
have to
everything
wait
will be
for it.
delayed. So if you want it early, if you want this content because you want to help us and support us and you like it and you believe in it, you can do that and you can get it like when we first release it, or you can wait the week. Also, by supporting us, you're allowing us to grow even more because we are giving it free to the people that don't think that we're worth $1 because a lot of times we're not.
Yeah.
But by giving it to them, maybe one day they'll be like, oh, I do like this. I do want to support. And then that can grow. Even if they never do ever give us $1, that's totally fine. We want them to listen. We want to spread as big as possible so that the most people are enjoying this content. And that's all thanks to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thank you is the Patreon page. And that sounds like I'm making a marketing video for Patreon, but you go to patreon.com/kindoffunny. And if you're not familiar with Patreon, it's a way to support artists, independent people who are creating content like we are here. And there's all these different tiers of success, different unlockables, right? And so the biggest thing coming out of that Patreon page is something you've all been asking for forever. On top of the iTunes thing is the ability to buy, instead of buying the podcast audio only, you can now buy the video podcast early. You can go there, you can subscribe on Patreon, and you can get the video version off Vimeo every week for free. Or not free. I'm sorry. But you know what I mean.
And also, so that's the other thing. We are now going to be offering the video on Vimeo every week. But in addition to that, with the Patreon, we're doing this thing where if you sign up for that tier, you can get the audio, so you don't even need to worry about going to Bandcamp every week. You can get the video without even worrying about going to Vimeo every week, and we will send you it because you're subscribed to it. So if you support for a certain amount, we haven't really exactly like finalized that yet, but by the time you see or hear this,
it'll be
whatever
totally
numbers you see there,
Fingers crossed.
you can
the
just
webpage
sign
work?
up, and it's like a subscription thing where you're a premium best friend. Where you're getting this stuff just sent to you because like you support it, and it'll just go to you, the new episodes, as soon as they're out.
Private
It'll go
wall to
straight
talk
you.
to us on.
Yep. And that's the other thing. Patreon offers us all these other cool things in addition to just the video and audio, where live Q&As, where it's like a private Twitter, essentially.
Yeah.
Where it's like you can ask questions and we'll be there. Like we will see them all. And depending on the tier, like we're offering a bunch of stuff. Like what are we offering?
We're offering a whole bunch of stuff. We're offering Google Hangouts. We're offering one-on-one chats with us. We're offering
Nude
the
photos.
ability. Nope, not doing
Not
those.
nude photos?
No, you've been fished.
Was that off
You got
the-
catfished.
that
got
was off
knocked
the
off
list?
That was
Okay.
like if we make. It was like a threat. If we make no dollars, then we send you nude photos.
Then we're spamming everyone's
Then
Twitter
you have
accounts
to.
in the world.
Yeah, there's that. We're looking into T-shirt discounts. We're looking into the ability to have you it's one of those crazy things where there's all these like normal ones of like, oh, we'll draw you a digital poster. That's awesome. We'll give you a voicemail on your we'll send you an MP3
custom
file.
voicemails or ringtones.
But then they go crazy and they go all the way up to you can be on the show.
Yeah.
Because like it's if you're not familiar with Patreon, it's really awesome. Like it's one of those things where it's a monthly subscription, but then monthly you can give out certain number of like I guess not milestones, but because that's something different altogether. But perks like if you sub 1 month for $1 and you get the podcast or whatever it is, awesome. If you sub the next month for whatever we're asking for, you can be on the show. Like you can change your subscription amount month to month to get the bonus to the content you want or whatever. And then there's milestones we're putting on the side that range about bringing back a conversation with Colin, doing more Aura videos, giving Nick his own show. And I really hope we hit that milestone. Nick's show is my favorite show idea we've ever had.
It's gonna be amazing.
But like the other thing we're talking about all the time, right, is like if you're wondering why the sudden need for this, on top of the fact that we all want to be together and make more content, is we want it to be legit. If you look at the video you're watching right now, it looks really good. This, we're done renting the cameras. We want to buy the nice cameras and have the nice things and be able to give you the show we think you should get. Nick's working on graphic packages right now to make everything look better.
They're gonna be hot.
We're coming. It's one of those things like we're launching right now, and I don't want to use this term soft launch of Kind of Funny, but there's even more coming up.
It's a phased launch.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like we're trying to come out now as strong and hard as possible, and the more that you guys are into this, and like the more feedback you give us, this is totally like a moving thing.
Yeah, I mean we're pliable. Like that's
Yeah.
the whole point. This is where it comes back to when we talk about the best friends thing. Is right. Like you guys like the content we make. We want to make more content for you, so we need your help doing it. And so part of that, as it always has been with the comments, right, is sitting here and having these conversations. This is like when we started breaking up the podcast. We had a whole podcast explaining why we were going to break it up into segments. And like there was a lot of backlash. And then after we had the podcast, people understood, and now people don't even think about it. But
Yeah.
this is the same thing. That Patreon wall will be the easiest way for us all to talk about what we're building together.
Yeah, and I want to, something Tim said resonated with me a lot, which was, if you're, if for us, if you're on, we're on the fringe of your life where you kind of listen to a video here, you listen to a video there, you download a podcast here or there, like nothing changes for you at all. And that's like kind of what I like the most about this is that we're still going to be on YouTube with the shows. The shows are still going to be, free, on YouTube. You're going to get access to them, as normal. The podcast will still be there on Bandcamp if you want to download it early. And like Tim said, and what I'm so excited about specifically is so many people have asked us to go on iTunes with the podcast, and we are going to do that for you. So, don't think that this is like a situation where anything's going to change for you. If you choose not to partake in Patreon or anything like that, we totally understand. We still love you. You're still important to us.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you anyway. We just want to kind of open it up, see what you guys think we should do in the future, and kind of sustain this new thing that we're doing, and kind of infuse some money into the project and make things look better, to do better and cooler things. So I said, like, when you want conversation with Colin in 6 months, my hope is that you're not going to want that. You're going to want something even cooler because we can deliver something cooler.
Right.
and we can. Like, I love conversation with Colin, but it's like we are capable of doing so much if we just like have the time and the effort and the like ability to do it. And man, I want to make some fun stuff for you guys.
Me too.
Kind of funny stuff.
So yeah, like we said, it's a work in progress. Thanks for coming along for the ride. If you're listening to this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or whenever you just listen to the podcast, please go check out all the videos we just talked about. The Patreon video for sure. Check out the Patreon page. Go check out the 100 Pence video. And here's the other thing about the 100 Pence video, and even if you're watching this on Monday, then about everything we're talking about, we need your help with that one, right? Because
Yes.
this is the big thing. Like we talk about all the time, like we love how big we are and we love who we talk to and everything else. And I also know, though, from doing this show that the Venn diagram of our audience, or not our audience, but the people who enjoy our normal content and people who enjoy sports, it's a very, very small thing. But the thing is, you all have, first off, the video is hilarious without knowing anything about sports.
I don't know anything about sports.
You're in it,
at
mixed
all.
in it with his Easter egg sign and everything else. The thing is, you all know people who know sports and enjoy baseball. We need you to tweet this out, share it with everybody, just because we're trying to get outside of our usual comfort zone to be something bigger than what we were with GameOverGreggy. You know what I mean? Like we're more than just one idiot yelling at the camera, and this is like what this
Four
is.
idiots.
Four idiots.
It's 4 idiots.
Sometimes
yelling.
5.
Yeah.
4, sometimes 5 idiots.
with a dog.
This
We got a
table.
dog.
Yeah, I mean, this is our chance, we feel like, to really establish what we're going for and who we are and what we're doing here. And, I want that video to get out to as many people so they come and we get new eyes on this. Because we do enough content where it's like, everyone would love to watch me review an Oreo. We just don't think about it that way. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But the people who come here are our best friends, obviously. You already know so much about us. But if you can share it and spread it around, that'd be great for us. And then check out all the stuff. Kindafunny.com should link you to all those things. If you're on YouTube, we'll have links in the description for sure.
It's going to do it.
I'm going to make sure that kindafunny.com/Patreon goes to the Patreon page.
Yes.
Kindafunny.com store goes to the store. Like, there'll be different things. We'll be tweeting all crazy about this.
Yeah, be patient with us. We're trying to get it all together. Also, I'm going to Japan next week, so I'm not even going to be here to help these guys.
Yeah.
And give us feedback.
Yeah, and
like,
feedback.
as much feedback
positive,
as possible.
negative. We need to hear it. We needed to hear it specifically from you guys that are already here.
Yeah.
because you're really our
Especially
people.
the people who are listening to the audio.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you're our people. So like,
And
we really want to hear from you.
And make sure, help us on Monday go big with everything. Not just the 100 pence video, but the Patreon video, everything. I mean, especially if you're listening to this, I'm not super worried about it, don't get me wrong, but I mean, if you're listening to this on Friday, don't forget about it on Monday. On Monday's like the big thing. That's when I need you tweeting about it and sharing it with your friends. Don't share super early because...
Oh yeah, that is the other thing. Please try not to share this before Monday.
Oh, really? We want to do that?
Right?
Yeah, I
I mean-
guess. I mean, like, what's going to happen? Some kid's going to... I mean, somebody's
Yeah,
going to tweet.
Do whatever you want. Like,
Yeah.
getting the word out there is awesome, but like,
Yeah, don't be like, I guess go to... Hey, everybody go check out kindoffunny.com, and it's just the little guy with the shovel. It's like, we're working on it.
We're letting you into the inner sanctum.
Yeah.
So do with the
Yeah.
information what you will, but when everything goes live, try to recapture that excitement if you even felt any over the last 20
Unless
minutes.
you're a cold husk of a human being sitting there waiting to taste steel. All right. That was good. We're in a good place. I'm super excited about our future.
Me too.
this is great.
Come with me on the
too.
ship of the imagination.
Oh, God, here
You
we
either
go.
have a
No,
dick or you don't.
I mean, I haven't chimed in. Wow.
You remember that? That was something we said here.
No, I don't remember much from last week, mostly because it's been a very, very long week. But yeah,
That's the thing. And I want to, I mean, like, especially when we're talking about, like, how we've evolved and what we're doing, where we want to go with it. You know what I mean? Like, I was not a naysayer, but I didn't want to give up the Game Over name for a while and all this other different stuff. And then I also, it was a struggle for me what I wanted to do with GameOverGreggy, right? Because that is the brand I've built and done all this other thing, and I had all this branding already. But when I was in that house, I know I gave you guys a vague text message.
No,
about
it was
this
an
after
awesome
the fact.
text. Thank you. It got us through the day.
But I mean, like, that isn't even
like,
something like they took the day and shot over at Alexis's place, which is who she was in the video with Hunter Pence and all these things. And when I went there for the shoot, I'll tell you, man, like, I've never felt so impotent around you guys. Just because you were moving and you were doing all stuff and you're doing like how great it looked and how awesome the shots looked and you had real people and you had scrims and you had all these different things going on.
There's so many chirons.
But it's like I've
no
never been on a project with you where I wasn't the talent, and I'm not the talent on this video, and it would have been so awkward. Again, like we're talking about like what GameOverGreggy is an umbrella. It would have been so awkward if it was like you're doing this for the GameOverGreggy channel, and like I just show up and I'm like, I'm gonna eat some of this pizza.
Everything's good.
I will now laugh like I'm laughing at this Friends song. All right, see you guys later, and leave. Like that would have been super weird. And I mean, like that was like one of those proving grounds of like what we all bring to this. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I that's an important thing to reiterate too. Is even though the idea started at VidCon with Greg, and Greg came home and was like, I want to do a show about you to me, and I was like, I don't think that's a good idea. And then we ended up doing it anyway. We really wouldn't have been able to achieve even 20% of what we ended up doing on GameOverGreggy without Tim and Nick.
Yeah.
And their technical prowess and their know-how and their patience. Because the fact of the matter is that they do a lot of the hard work.
Yeah.
And a lot of you guys know Greg and I, and you've gotten to know Tim and Nick through the show and through some things that we've done together. But you really got to give some shout outs to them. We had nothing to do with the 100 pence video really at all, and that's humbling for us, I think, too, because like Greg was saying, like we usually have something to do with something, even though I often feel very ineffective around Nick.
Well,
and
it's
Tim,
the
'cause
same
I don't-
thing.
'cause
You're the talent.
I'm a writer too, so it's like there's not much room for the things I know best in our business, but they have been patient with that and have been really working hard and sharing the fruits of that labor with us very selflessly. And I think this video is a really good example, but we're real proud of you both for what you did.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
And we're really excited about the product. We're really excited about that video. We're really excited that we got Hunter Pence involved and Alexis was involved and we had all of our friends in the video and stuff like that. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
And it's really humbling for me to be kind of included in what we're doing, even though I don't have a lot of those technical skills. I'm just kind of here. So it's kind of cool. Hopefully I can learn those things in the future and all that. But so props to you guys for concocting that video, getting it done, filming it, editing it, promoting it, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I put 3 chyrons in it just for you.
Thank you. I love it. And
They're
you know
good
how I feel about
chyrons. They're
chyrons,
amazing
and
chyrons.
chyrons make me weak in the knees. So
They do.
it's
The old
make you all
panty
bashful.
dropping Chiron.
I really didn't even know what a chiron was until like 6 months ago. But I used that word for the last 3 years of my life.
Yeah.
You actually used it one time on a shoot correctly. And I was like, wow. Because we were actually rolling chyrons over like live or something. You're like, those chyrons look good. And I was like, and then I just didn't know if you were messing with me or not. I couldn't tell. I could
At,
never tell.
at E3 when
E3.
when I walked in,
Yeah, it was E3.
Yeah, I walked in. and I'm like, the chyrons look great.
They did look great.
But I never even actually looked at the screen. So anyway, congratulations to both of you guys. It's
Thank
a
you.
big, huge technical and creative achievement, I think. Greg and I are really humbled to be around you guys, and definitely on everyone on Twitter, give them their props because this video is really theirs.
But see, that's the thing, though. It's not ours. It is ours.
Yeah, no, we know.
But
We
that's
know
what's
that.
awesome
We
about
get
this,
that.
though. But that's like, I love that. It's like, this is the kind of funny is our thing.
Yeah.
And we have grown it from Game Over Greggy to what this is and to whatever it will be. It's us. It's them. It's doing this all together. And it's like, we couldn't have made that video without you making this platform for us to do this and all
Yeah.
this stuff. And these people watching the videos. It's like, we're all growing together.
We're all best friends.
It's all
that's
fun.
And that's my thing too, right? Is like you came back from that VidCon. I think we both did because that was my first VidCon also. And Tim's like, we got to go to this thing called VidCon. I'm like, that sounds
I'm like,
fun.
shut up, new kid.
Yeah. Like, you don't know anything. He's like, oh, guys, I think the YouTube's kind of a big deal. We came back from that, and I think you and I think all of us needed just a little bit of an outlet to do some creative, like wacky stuff. That's not what we normally do.
Yeah.
And that's what this whole channel was sort of based around, was right, kind of getting out of the comfort zone, reviewing Oreos, talking about food and pizza and stuff like that, and really,
We want to get out of our comfort zone of
Talk
video
about
games.
food
We can
and
only talk
pizza.
about food and pizza.
you know what I mean. I mean, most of our days filled with a certain subject matter, and we wanted to kind of do something that was a little outside of that. And I think not only have we achieved that, but I'm very excited about where everything can go. And I told you when we were there, you're like, wow, everything looks really good. And I'm like, yeah, I'm really hoping that we can hit that level of quality with all of our shows. Like, this show is our staple show, right? This is something where we could do every week, and it's a relaxing show. But I would love to see us have a sort of crazy creative product like that for everyone sitting here.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we talked about Conversation with Colin. If we can hit some of those goals, we're going to take that up a notch and make it look awesome, right? Same with, I would love to see Tim spread his wings a little bit more. I'm doing the Tim thing right now.
I like it.
Talk with your hands. Rap
Talk with your
hands.
yo. And do more rap videos because that's his passion, right? And my passion lies somewhere between. Well, we'll see what that's going to look like one day.
gonna be good.
But yeah, that's the awesome part, is that, like, this is what we want to make of it. And
Can't wait to do your show. I really hope we hit that milestone.
We'll
to do
see.
your show.
It's a good one. We've been knocking that one around for a while. too.
yeah, we'll see about that. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to thank you guys for including us in this to begin with, right? I mean, this is one of those things where you didn't have to. I remember you were like, I think you were trying to figure out who you were going to ask to come help out. And I think I was I don't know, I think I was a first choice. Tim might have been second choice. I can't remember.
No, you
Vice
brought
versa.
Tim.
Did I bring Tim?
Yeah, you were the choice because I didn't know Tim. I didn't know Tim well. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, that's right. Because
yeah,
you were still like an associate back then, right? Or were you intern?
I was an intern.
You were intern, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I knew, and it's one of those things where, like, this is still in the infancy of our friendship, even. You know what I mean? Like,
That's right, because we just started working together on Up at Noon.
I was ride or die with Ty Root my entire IGN career.
Yeah, that's
and then
right.
he
He was like
left
the
or
game
whatever.
scoops.
Yeah, and then, or not even, I guess right as he was leaving, we were starting up at Noon.
Yeah.
And that's where we were working together every day.
Yeah,
And
that's
so,
fun.
yeah, it
It
still
was a good
is.
time. We had director. no. I mean, just that time period when it was like, because that was
No,
that
we
was.
still like Up at Noon.
I do actually. It's actually, I think, even better now than it was
BTW,
before.
we're doing a panel tomorrow.
Great.
We didn't tell you about that. Okay.
That's cool. So yeah, I mean, for me, it's just fun to have something.
We've all
that's-
grown so much, and I mean, that's the whole thing. And that's what, I mean, I've never been as proud as I am of a product as I am of what we do here.
Yeah.
And so, like,
Me
this
too.
is a big deal for all of us.
Yeah. I agree.
Nick,
Yes.
what's your topic?
Damn it! I already forgot the person's name.
I knew you would.
I-
While that happens, does someone's farts or burps smell like trash, or is it the trash in the kitchen? Every so often, I got a waft of trash in here.
Earlier,
Go to our Patreon page
They
so
were
we can
saying-
take out the trash.
I think it's the trash.
Okay.
It might be the trash. It might be one of us. So my topic today, of course, comes from the community. Remember, if you have a topic for this show, please tweet it at me, Nick_Scarpino, and it might be one of our topics. Just like at Dancing Joe Man.
Dancing Joe Man.
Who last week won a very, very landslide vote for the two topics we
Right.
had.
Remember, we usually put up 2 topics for Nick. Then you vote via likes through the YouTubes.
Right.
Since the schedule's a bit off this week because of the Kind of Funny relaunch, we won't do that this week. Instead, you can pick topics and we'll vote at the table.
Yes. So,
But
this-
who won last week?
Dancing Joe Man, follow him on Twitter, said, "What is the craziest party you've ever been to?" So that beat out, what do you look for most in a pizza?
It's still a great topic.
Great topic.
Let's just do that next week. Let's just do that
week.
next week. What we look for in a pizza.
Because I feel like that. There's a lot of
Craziest party
opposing
you ever
opinions
went
on
to.
that one. Colin.
Yeah.
What's the craziest party you've ever
Well,
been to?
I've thought about this, and I don't think it reminds me of Aisha Tyler when she was here and we were talking about whatever the hell we were talking about. And
I wouldn't know.
I said my stories are too incriminating. So
This is gonna be a hard one to not.
So I don't want to
spill.
incriminate anyone else. I'll incriminate myself though. This was not the craziest party I've ever been to, but it's the funniest story I have about going to a party.
Okay.
I was like 19 or 20, and I went to like a little get together at my friend's house on Long Island. I was home for the summer from Northeastern, and we ended up getting like just super wrecked, and we were having a great time. We hadn't seen each other all year. Everyone's coming home from college. I think this was like after freshman year, and so we were just having a good time at my buddy's house, swimming in the pool and drinking some beers and hanging out, listening to music, all that kind of stuff. At 19 years old.
Oh my God, you're a lawbreaker.
And
You must have just been smooth.
yeah. But so short story. We're all in the backyard of my friend's house, and I end up passing out in the backyard. And everyone just kind of disperses, goes to bed, sleeps on the couch, whatever, and I'm just like kind of in the grass. In the backyard, and the next morning, my friend's mom comes and like kind of shakes me and she's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I was all groggy and had never really been that drunk before, and just got up and slept on their couch or whatever, and woke up at like 7 that night and went home. So a lot of my college stories are very similar in the sense of how messed up I ended up getting, but that particular story I think is the essence of the first time I got screwed up, and the party wasn't even much of a rager as much as I raged too hard at the party.
So you were that guy.
Yeah, oh yeah, probably.
Everyone
I don't
else
remember.
like the next Monday, everyone's like, Colin was really drunk last night.
Yeah,
Like I didn't know what's going on with him.
He went harder than anyone's ever gone.
yeah. So that story always sticks out to me just because I remember my mom. I was so embarrassed because my friend's mom was like, who I've known like most of my life. Since I was a kid, like a little kid, like was like, man, like, what the hell are you doing? Like just face down in the grass,
Like,
and,
watching
some Long Island
Clay.
backyard.
I imagine you like destroying your friend's dad's bottle of peach schnapps and then just being like, why isn't 311 playing right now?
Stop! We're gonna get a strike.
I can't believe I
So we're getting old.
So that's about as vanilla as I can make it without, I don't want to get, college parties a lot of them were pretty absurd. And they were all in good fun. No one was getting hurt or doing anything illegal, but it was, it's much like when I punched Ramon in the face. We don't want to go.
Ramon.
I was pretty drunk then too, but
Yeah.
Well, so that's my story, and that's about as many. I've been to some good bachelor parties and stuff like that, but that was that's a good story. That's an old story, and that's what I like telling that one. Yeah.
Greg.
I have a war chest full of crazy parties.
You've told some crazy party stories.
I know. I have. Here is the one that I'll tell. That is, I'll give you the ending. I'm gonna start at the epilogue. This is how they hook you good in the books.
Wait, it's not going to be the one where you decided to fight the neighboring fraternity or something like that.
No,
right?
that
Okay.
wasn't it. And it's not gonna be the one where I fell down in front of the cops. It's not gonna be.
Oh, I thought that was the same story.
No, that was
okay,
different.
it's not the
Same
story.
street,
Got it.
same any antler house.
Do you have blue hair in this party? In this story?
I'm fairly certain I didn't.
Okay.
Wait, it would have been around. No, I might have. There's a possibility I had
50-50,
blue
okay.
hair, but I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It's not relevant to the story.
It isn't relevant.
It's
at
not
all.
material to the story.
So here's all you need to know about this story. This is where we start. All right, we're in front of the antler house. You pan up. It's 2:33 in the morning.
How old are you?
I'm underage. It's a sophomore year, I do believe.
Okay.
Maybe beginning of junior year, but
Okay.
I think no, it's sophomore year. You pan up on the antler house 2:30 in the morning. Lonely light on me as I sit on the porch steps, and I'm calling. I think Noonan, because Poe didn't pick up his phone for some reason, and he answers, and I just go, "Dude, remember when we were in high school?" And we would watch movies like Can't Hardly Wait or whatever, and there'd be some crazy party and we'd all look at each other and go like, "No party ever happens like that."
Mm-hmm.
I was just at that party. So there you go. And now we fade back and we do a flashback now. All right.
Mm-hmm.
writing
I'm
the story
seeing
here.
this in my head.
I'm in the antlers, of course.
Interior.
You guys know
Antler
it well.
house
If you don't
night.
know it at home for some reason, University of Missouri student group that's not affiliated with the university anymore because they're an embarrassment because they go too far and make fun of teams and call players and put up private information on signs and hold them up. Yada yada yada.
You were the Grand Poobah. of
I
this
was the
place,
Grand
right?
Poobah, but I was not the Grand Poobah at this time.
Okay.
We went to a Mizzou volleyball game. And because
course.
it's one of those things where for basketball, which is the Antlers' main thing, there's enough people at a basketball game, at least in my time period. Now they kind of stink. But now at the time period I was there, enough people came. They didn't need us. But every other sport would beg the Antlers to come. Because, God, they were loud and they actually got in the head of these kids. We're screaming things at players and there's like a 1-to-1 connection between us and the opposing team. And
because they're just
terrified.
right here.
Yeah. They're terrified, yeah. So we go to this volleyball game. He wants to eat Shovel Knight, by the way. The Shovel Knight sculpture. During Twitch streams, he always tries to get up here and eat Shovel Knight. I have no idea what this kid made it out of. We go to the Mizzou volleyball game.
Right.
We're there, of course.
Boy, a guy or girl?
Girls.
Team, okay.
And the girls, of course, beautiful.
Yeah, of course.
Beautiful volleyball players here.
Very tall.
I'm a big fan of volleyball shorts.
They are very tall. Good shorts, yeah. And so at some point, I'm like, I'm in love with this girl here. For the purposes of the story, we'll call her Lucy. I'm in love with Lucy.
What's her real name, Lucy?
No, that's
okay.
I'm gonna. What if I was like, yeah, it was actually. It was just the
was.
easiest way to change it around. And fall in love with this girl over here, Lucy. And I'm like, she's awesome, blah blah. And we go through and they do signings at the end, and we're just a bunch of idiots. They give us posters, we get them signed or whatever. We go home, we put them up on the wall. It's like a running joke at the Antler house that I'm in love with this one girl, Lucy, on this team or whatever. Blah 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 blah. And it goes on for a while, and finally one day, one of the Antlers is like, hey guys, we're drinking, playing caps, we're already drunk at the house. He's like, we just got invited to the Golden Girls. It might have been the cheerleaders. There's two basically interchangeable things at Mizzou, right? There's Golden Girls who are like the girls who just like are like the pom pom squad, and there's like cheerleaders that are like the mix.
What an unfortunate name.
Golden Girls?
Because that's just all I think about is fucking
B.
Blanche
Arthur's
Devereaux.
panties.
Yeah. B. Arthur's panties
Just those big
specifically.
panties.
And here it is. Actually, it was Golden Girls because it was that was the all female troupe, of the girls who wear like the super tight outfits and come out and do their thing and do their dances and stuff and are always showing their midriffs and whatever.
I like those girls.
Yeah, everybody likes those girls. We've been invited to their party, and it's the after party for their initiation. And so we're like,
man.
Okay, no big deal. We all roll over there. We open the door and go into this party, and literally 3 of them are naked and like are getting redressed. And these are like the Golden Girls are incredibly attractive college students who are like.
I was just gonna Google it, but I realize there's a camera on me right now.
You can Google
it
Golden
anyway.
Girls. What? It's not. You're not gonna find the pictures that I'm talking about in my mind.
I might.
But we get
What do you
there.
think of it? What's gonna happen if I type? What do you think's gonna happen right now if I Google Golden Girls nude?
Oh, you know what's
gonna
gonna
be-
happen.
That's not gonna be good for anybody.
what's gonna happen?
Okay.
But
Do not put that in this
It
video.
turns out that for their initiation thing or whatever, they had to all wear they all wore costumes. So like they were in these like goofy outfits. So there's like people dressed like they're all dressed like Victoria's Secret angels or some kind of goofy their thing, where they're basically in lingerie to begin with. But they had them doing like initiation stuff before we got there, and we got there just in time for them to be like, oh hey, and everybody's kind of drunk or whatever already. So they're just like, oh no big deal, whatever. Blah. So we're just
So
surrounded,
you're saying naked. Cool.
like they were like getting reclothed from whatever they had just had to do. I don't even know what they were doing that it required them
we
to
can
be
only
a very
imagine.
extensive-
Just a cursory search of Golden Girls Mizzou.
Yeah,
Every picture is nothing but great-looking women.
that's what I'm saying.
I just want you to know this.
Yeah, that's how they do it at Mizzou.
Mostly blonde. There are just a lot of blonde women in Mizzou.
Well, yeah, it's middle of the country. People like that. The bleach blonde hair.
Man. Wow. They all
Get
have-
there, and so like this party then continues on this train. Body shots. People are crazy. There's awesome lights.
It's like Project X.
I didn't see that, but I saw the trailer. I got enough
too.
of it. Yeah. Okay. So this is all going, and it's just amazing, and it's great, and it's blah 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 blah. And we're all having that moment of just like, this is the best party I've ever been to. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, we're not like the Antlers who are like Casanovas are always doing fine, but like all the fat ones with blue hair like me are still just like, hey, having fun, whatever. seeing pretty people be pretty. This is not too shabby. And then the seas part in this one dance room I'm in with the little string of lights. And who the fuck is over there at the bar? It's Lucy,
Ooh,
and
in
she's
the sky
talking
with
to
diamonds.
another Antler. And so I walk over, and she's also dressed in some scantily clad outfit or whatever. And as I get close, the other Antler spots me, and he goes, "This is the guy I'm telling you about. He's in love with you." And she goes, "Ah," and like brings me in close to her like this, and like we just sat there and talked for a little bit. And then she's like, "Well, I gotta go." And I'm like, "Oh, that sucks. Can I ever call you sometime?" And she's like, "Sure." And she takes a Sharpie and writes on my hand her phone number. And then she leaves. And it was just like, what the fuck just happened? And I went up to Goose, our former Grand Poob at the time, and I'm like, man, this just happened, and da 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 da. And he's like, and I'm like, and then she wrote her hand on my phone number, and he holds up my arm and goes, "Who can take this man home? He has to jack off."
God, I don't think I ever went to a good college party like that.
It was the most like it's one of those things. I pride myself on my college stories of parties and crazy things, but like, you know, this was the one where it was like the movie set. Where like everyone was beautiful and awesome and friendly,
like the
and
neighbor's
like
house.
there's great lighting, and like our parties were awesome and packed, but they were hot and sweaty, and our house was a shithole, and you know what I mean. There was bugs, you know what I mean. Like this is like the one that was like totally exactly what you would expect a Hollywood movie.
I'm imagining right now because I just saw, not just about a month and a half ago, saw Neighbors with Seth Rogen and Zac Efron. They throw that party where it's like always a theme and everything's perfectly dialed in, and like if it's a blacklight party, it's a blacklight party, things like that. I never went to those cool parties.
Yeah.
I had friends that were in fraternities that threw those parties, and occasionally I would go to one, and it was like this.
It was
is
super
crazy.
awkward.
It was awkward.
It's like a
Everyone's
Twister party. It's
"Hey,
like, oh,
dude."
everyone wear a color from Twister, and we'll play
Yeah.
Twister, and you have to touch each other. And there's like 4 dudes wearing green shirts, and it's like, you guys.
I never had that experience, but I'm glad that you did. I was
was
glad that
wearing a
one
green
of us
shirt.
at this table had that. No, I mean, I would always go to these parties, and I was never part of that fraternity, so it would be really awkward because they would either be like, "Hey," they had a term for it. I can't remember what it was, but it was like GDIs. I think Goddamn Independence.
Yep.
Pardon me for the God. I don't know. I don't like use the Lord's name in vain, but
I like how goddamn is the one word we don't bleep on Beyond. That's the one word you're apologizing for.
that's fair enough. I don't want to offend anyone out there. We've talked a lot on the show about religious beliefs. We respect those. So yeah, I used to be GDI, and then I actually ended up joining another fraternity, and we didn't throw cool parties either, mostly because it was UC Irvine. But so all of my parties that I've been to that are cool were not college stories. All of my parties, actually, the coolest ones I've been to have been since I joined IGN. Namely, our Comic-Con party every year is always absurd because it's like, so the first year we threw it, I think was a shocking sort of revelation for me, where I was like, this is what all parties should be like. Open bar, packed, great looking people because everyone's like either a celebrity or knows a celebrity or works in the industry.
I can never. It's mind-boggling the celebrities we get at these things.
And then everywhere you turn, you're like, oh, I just bumped into Jon Favreau. Oh, what's up, Sam Worthington? Like,
Hey, Tara Reid.
Yeah, well,
You're
Tara Reid's
cool.
always at these parties.
But
Tara
this
Reid's
is
my
awesome.
favorite.
It's just
She
awesome
is.
to look over and see her there.
Yeah.
Fun Comic-Con story. This year, I was with Kara, my girlfriend, and I couldn't find her for a while. I went to the bathroom and I couldn't find her. Lo and behold, I eventually look over. It's her just chilling with Tara Reid.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a
man.
goddamn disaster.
I wish I could chill with Tara Reid.
I saw Tara Reid.
I love her.
I didn't have the stones to say what's up to her, mostly because I was really, really tired from doing a live show at Comic-Con.
I'm too tired to say.
tired to say hi.
That's the problem it's been with the last 2 years of the Comic-Con party. Is
I'll
that,
see her at American Reunion 2 presser.
Wow. Yeah, we'll have one of our shows. No, but every time we get to that party now, it's the first night of Comic-Con, but I've already worked 5 nights since to get the live show up and running, so I'm so tired. It's hard to be sort of in the moment and on. Yeah, but it's still a great party. That, and we used to have an old events coordinator for IGN. She's awesome. She has since moved on, but she used to throw the most amazing
To the other
parties.
side?
No, she's just a different company.
You almost said a better place. To the other side? Is she dead?
No, but she threw a party one time for us at CES that was at Trist in the Wynn.
Oh.
And oh my, I've never felt as, like, I don't like to throw around the term baller, but it was literally,
going to.
but I'm going to throw it out right now because I was like, that was the first time I remember thinking like, is this what baller feels like? Because it was if you've ever been to Trist,
Hold on, that's a great shirt, by the way.
is this what baller
Is
feels
this
like?
what baller feels like? Anyway,
Districtlines.com/GameOverGreggy. Kindoffunny.com/store.
Store, hopefully. But no, it took up.
Lots to figure out tomorrow night.
I mean tonight when I go home after this.
Well, I'll figure out the web forwarding part.
Okay. So you go into the club, and it wasn't in the main club. It was in one of the wings that like circled that encircled the pond, I guess, or the waterfall area. And there was a private security area. And this was some of the guys that we would work with were still single, and so they would walk through the security, and girls would go, "Hey, what's going on over there?" And they would be like, "I don't know. You want to just? We're throwing a party. It's like free alcohol and stuff. Come on over." And they're like, "Okay." And it was the first time I was like, wow, it actually is a thing. Like if you have the image of not wealth, but like the ability to provide something cooler than the experience that females are getting in the normal part of the club, they look at you differently. And I'm like, I'll keep that one in the back of my mind for later, which I'm sure you're going to tell a story about anything.
Well, I mean,
It's your party story, Tim.
Well, so here's the thing. I mean, Nick's really nailing it on the head here. My college parties were so lame.
They were lame.
Like,
Not yours. I don't know. I never
I
went
didn't
to yours.
throw any ever. If I did, it'd probably be pretty lame. Me and Alfredo did throw a really epic New Year's Eve party a couple years ago. It was still IGN times, but that was a
Thanks
good
for the
one.
invite.
That was
Yeah.
everyone. You guys were invited. It was a Facebook
I don't-
invite.
Oh wait, is this when you wore the shiny clothes?
Yes,
Yeah, I do remember this.
Yeah, we didn't go on purpose.
it was a good time.
We didn't
We were
want to
too
support
busy.
those.
But anyways, like IGN's parties, man, like they're either the lamest things in the world or the
best.
most ballers.
I think they're
in
usually the
world.
most baller.
We throw good
I can't
parties.
remember
There's a lot of really lame ones.
when.
I don't know. There's some of them.
Sometimes
I don't want to name any names.
Well, because
specifically.
sometimes they're smaller like gatherings, so it depends on like what the focus of the party is. If it's kind of a public like invite fans and then like industry people, those tend to be blowout,
Yeah.
go crazy. Sometimes they're just more intimate,
Subdued, yeah.
like
I like a subdued
client to client party things. And those are actually really fun,
They're
but
fun.
they're
It's
more
different.
business.
Yeah,
It's business.
It's like I feel like our holiday parties. There is a fair amount of them that are just spectacular. Like every year, IGN will throw
yeah.
the like company holiday party, and they're just awesome. Some of them aren't as awesome. Some of them are.
They used to be crazy back
The
then.
Yeah,
first-
like
yeah.
that's the thing. It's like back in the day, they were crazy.
The first year I was
Real
at-
crazy.
Yeah. Should I share for B-roll the photos of you?
Yeah, whatever you want. Yeah. At my first holiday party.
Your
yeah.
first holiday party as a full-time employee when you tried to resign the next day. Yeah. Because you're like, I was out of control last night. I want to quit.
That's awesome.
I passed out on the sidewalk. In front
I
of the
just
club.
remember. I remember one party. It might have been the same one. It was my first year at IGN, and it was at this. I think it was the year Hillary was doing the Gold Star thing.
Oh, the gold star, the stickers. It was a return to form.
So this was the year after I started, and
Was it?
I remember. Yes, I know because
How long have you been at IGN?
4 years.
Wow.
So
man.
when I was there at the party, all anyone was talking about was, "Oh, this isn't as good as last year. No one has stars."
Yeah, it was.
That was a bad idea.
I actually didn't get too drunk at that party. I think I only had a few cocktails. Reason being was because I made the mistake of going outside for a second, and I had
Careful
to.
of the names.
I'm not gonna
yeah.
share any names, but a friend of mine, a coworker that I had worked with, not on the editorial side, she was I think she was like ad ops or something like that, was very drunk, and she came out and was like, didn't know what to do, and I was like, I'll get you a cab, just don't fall into the street and die. So I hailed a cab, he pulled over, and he was quite adamant about not taking her. He was like, no, she's way too drunk, she's gonna throw up in my cab. And I'm like, you have to take her. I was like, it's against the law for you not to take her. I had no idea. I don't know. I was like, it's against the law. So I'm
a lawyer.
I'm gonna get a cop.
My dad's a lawyer.
So I throw her in there and close the door just in time to turn around and see another one of my coworkers stumble out. And I'm like, well, this is going to be the next 2 hours of my life. And I had to get like 15 people cabs. It was ridiculous. Not the least was one of our coworkers, and I'm not going to say his name. He's no longer at the company, but he was demolished. I didn't even want to touch him.
This is the one sitting on the curb vomiting. Yeah, there's photos of that.
That was amazing. So that was that was a fun party though. That was my first time. That was my first time really at a company party like that.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what to expect. Same way the party I'd been to was like you had to pay for your own alcohol. So of course you're very conservative with the amount you're drinking that night. But this one was an open bar. And it was like 3 different stories, and there was like a coat check, and I was like, a coat check? That's so fancy.
Oh my God, we've
Yeah,
made it
man.
now.
Oh,
The
it's
internet's
crazy.
never going away.
Put my spats on and my top hat, and let's go be millionaires. But that was fun.
Yeah.
That was a fun time.
So real quick, going through my party stories, just buzzing through these. I will say that Nick Scarpino joint bachelor party, untouchable. I'm not even gonna go into it. Like those stories can't be told. It's just that's the pinnacle of existence, and it doesn't get better than that. But
of existence.
these Comic-Con parties are, you already spoke enough about how awesome they are. Like they're just the most fun I have all year. Where I'm just like, damn, this is just the best. My Comic-Con story in particular might be my favorite Comic-Con story I've ever had in my entire life. You guys know it well.
Which
You've all
one?
heard
Don't
the
name names.
Comic-Con story.
Do not
So what
name
I'm going to
names
say
for this.
here, I'm calling
Tell the story.
Calling an audible here. On a future Game Over Greggy show,
Oh.
we're going to do the whole show where each of our topics is just our best story of our lives. Like the best story we got to tell.
Was that the best story of your life?
It's not the best story. It is my best story.
Okay, it's
The most entertaining story.
It's
of all time.
it's like
I think that'll be a really good show.
Okay.
So that one,
So
that one will
it'll be a
worth the dollar.
4-topic thing where each topic
Each
is
topic
ours.
is each of our own stories.
Okay, I like that.
I think that'll be fun.
okay.
Damn, I'm blanking out. I had one last story. Party story. Oh, the craziest moment I remember at a party where I was like, whoa, shit just got really too real. Was it was my first IGN party, and I went, and then it was sorry, it wasn't an IGN party. It was but through work we were there. It was like a different company, and we
Your
were
first
there.
like event party.
It was the first event party. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the event was or whatever. I was an intern. I was like young and youthful and all this shit, and I went with Nick. And Nick brought me to this thing, and he was just kind of showing me the ropes of like how to set up the camera and do all this shit. And then we were doing the party stuff, and he was like, "Hey, just come with me, and I'll like show you the shit." I don't even know if you remember most of this.
No, I don't.
Yeah, and it was crazy. Like, I didn't know what alcohols to get and stuff. Like I had not really drank, and I was just like, "Fuck."
I did
this
not
is
know
weird.
what alcohols to get.
Yeah, I didn't.
Which alcohols do I get?
I don't know. I'm the
I was
pure
young
one.
and youthful.
I'm the pure one.
That's another good shirt, young and youthful.
But yeah, so like, you know, Nick, he was like, "Tim, Jack and Coke, you got to do it." I'm like, "Cool, I'm doing it." So I ordered that shit. It was all good and stuff. And then we went around, we were just talking. He's all smoking, cool, because this was back when Nick was like, "Cool Nick."
Yeah, the best Nick.
And we go around, and then all of a sudden, this girl that we both don't know offered Nick cocaine. I know
remember
this
this
sounds
at
like a
all.
joke, but like this happens, and you just
You're gonna have to tell me who this person
you
was.
totally
after the
you totally
podcast.
played it off, and you were just like, "Oh no, we're good, you know, whatever." She like walks away, and then you look at me. This is the first moment Nick Scarpino treated me like the mentor that he is. He was just like, "Tim, this is gonna happen to you. You gotta just play it cool and just get through it and just ignore those people." And I was like, "We'll do." And that was
We'll do,
very
Captain.
important. That was the most important party moment I've ever had.
I don't remember this at all. I'm
Alright.
so sorry. You'll have to. You got to go into more in depth after.
I'll tell you.
Word.
I've never seen cocaine in person.
I have. Well, you don't party in the marine a lot.
No.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of. I mean, I'm not saying that to be like, oh, you don't party in the marine. There is literally a lot of drug usage in San Francisco, and
Yeah.
it happens to be in
In the comic club.
That drug is actually not so much in that. I've never actually seen it there. I've seen it in other places that are because I think it's you know it's a designer drug. Right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of people
I'm poor.
I think I mean so am I. Not that I would do it if I had the money, but no. But I mean, you see it a lot in a lot of people that are like more affluent. Like
Sure,
they'll go to these
sure,
like
sure,
higher
sure.
end places, and you'll be in the bathroom. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was just here to wash my hands. Have fun doing your bump. You know, it's
Yeah, it's
one of
really
those things.
uncomfortable. To me, it's like whenever I've seen it a few times, like people doing it in bathrooms, whatever, in bars and stuff like that. Always really uncomfortable. Like I'm always like, oh, like I saw a dude at a bar actually in the Inner Sunset get like literally thrown on his ass for selling coke in the bathroom or whatever. Like the bartender like went back and just like roughed him up, and, like threw him out. And I was like, well, it's just like. It is just like we've talked about this before, but just like a flagrant waste of money, really bad for you, stupid to do. Stick to the more conventional things, kids. Don't be doing the cocaine. It's like it's just fucking stupid, you know.
Yeah.
But like, and I'm always just like when I walk in, you know, someone in the bathroom's doing it or their friends are doing it or something, you know, like it's just like, oh, like, I don't want to be around you.
I mean, when that situation at the party happened to me, I remember being scared. Like I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I don't know if I'm into this. Like this isn't my like.
You're not into it.
Scared sounds like a crazy word, but not into
Scared
that
straight,
into
Tim
that
Gettys.
situation though. I was just like, "Oh man!" Like I didn't think this was what it was going to be like, and it's not like that. Like that situation scared me. I thought every video game industry party was going to be just like strippers.
Hey, thanks for doing that interview. Do drugs.
Yeah, but since
some
then
heroin.
it totally hasn't been that. But that was a really like whoa situation, and then Nick totally handled it so cool. I'll never forget that.
If you like Mortal Kombat, you'll love Mortal Kombat on meth. No!
Fatality.
Video game journalism.
I'll try anything once.
Colin,
Yeah.
what's your topic?
So I really love music. It's a huge part of my life. Playing it, listening to it. It's always been a really important part of my life. And one of my favorite things to do, although less now that I'm older and I'm not as fun anymore, is because I used to actually. It's surprising, but I used to actually really be a lot of fun. Was I love going to shows when I was in high school and college. I used to go to shows all the time, probably like 2 or 3 times a month. Go to a concert, small concerts, big concerts, and I'm just kind of curious what your guys like kind of seminal live concerts were in your life, and maybe even 1 or 2 really terrible concerts that you've been to. Who the acts were that you enjoyed when you saw them, and why it was important for you to see them, and all those kinds of things. So, I just kind of wanted to throw that story out there because there's nothing better than a great live show, like when you really it just floors you, and you don't want it to end, and you know they're getting to the encore, and the encore comes, and you're sad, and I like that kind of thing. And I've been to scores and scores of concerts, and a few of them stick out to me. So I just want to see what you guys think.
I've only been to a handful of live shows because I've never actually considered myself like I'm not hugely into music. I love music, but it's not it's not something that I would mobilize to go out to a live show because it is, it's a financial commitment and it's a time commitment and you have to make sure you get tickets, and if it's a right venue, it's seats and stuff like that. So my good friend Eric, who we work with, Eric Hardy's an awesome guy, and he and his wife are super, super into music, and one day invited me and my then girlfriend, now wife, to a Fantagram show.
I didn't know where that was going for a second.
No.
My then girlfriend now.
Because I had said to him, I was like, look, I need exposure to this. Like, I really want to know what's happening, especially in San Francisco, where it's such a cool place to see bands.
Yeah, there's some great venues here.
And so we went to the Independent to see Fantagram. And I had never heard of Fantagram. I didn't even bother to listen to this, like any of their music beforehand. Eric was like, you're going to like it. Don't worry. Based on your taste, I know you're going to like this. I don't think they had an opening act. If they did, they weren't memorable. Then Fantagram comes on. If you're not familiar with this group, it is two people. It's a guy and a girl. Girl lead singer plays a keyboard, guy plays guitar, and they have usually a beat machine, but for live concerts they brought in a drummer. And from the start of it, like these two people are amazing performers, and just like the whole world just goes away and you're just listening to these songs, and and the energy that they put out, you're just like, it's just hitting you in waves. And it was and I've been a fan ever since. I was like, I have to download all their music. I listen to them to this day when there's a new album. No, well, now it's on Spotify, so it's all good. But it was freaking awesome. And I don't know if you've been to a show at the Independent, but it's a tiny little venue.
Yeah.
Loud as hell. And the girl, the lead singer for Fantagram, is just so hot. And not like in a traditional way. She's hot because she's talented and can move and like sings like crazy and just knows how to like hit on that level.
Yeah, Fanagram's fucking awesome.
They were awesome. I highly recommend seeing them if you ever can. If they ever come to your town.
Now, my favorite part of the story was you're like, I need exposure to San Francisco music. Blah, blah, blah. But you already told us you've only been to a handful of shows, so did it only last one show?
I never went to
I need
another
exposure.
one.
Eric's like, I'll get you set up. First show this. You're like, great, I'm done. Eric's like, no. I have a multi-step program. You're like, I'm done. I know San Francisco music. Thanks, Fantagram.
So he invited me to one other show at the Fillmore, and I had only seen prior to that. I'd only been at the Fillmore one time, and it was to film a bump with Ice Cube. So it was an Ice Cube show that was happening, and Spence D, our old music editor,
Spence.
He's like, yo, Scarpino, man, do you want to come film this? And I was like, who is it? And it's like, Ice Cube. And I'm like, yes, I want to go meet Ice Cube. So we went up to the Fillmore, and we went into the back room, and we filmed an interview with Ice Cube, and he gave us the best IGN bump ever, where he was basically, I don't know if you ever saw it, but it was one where it was like,
of course.
Yo, this is Ice Cube. You're watching IGN. Yay. And I was like, this is the coolest. That was like the third thing I did at IGN. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. This is the best job on the planet. I can't even complain about this.
That's so awesome.
But no, Eric brought me to another show, and he was like, you might not like this much as much. And it was like bluegrass folk. And I'm like, why would you think I would like this? This is not good.
You got a beard like you live in the woods.
No, I don't chop wood, though.
No.
I have my wood shipped to me from Portland.
Damn.
Is this what baller feels
that's
like?
what baller feels like.
Is this what baller feels like?
Greg?
Honorable mention I'm going to throw out to... first off, I'm with Nick. I've probably been to less than a dozen concerts, maybe less than 10 concerts in my entire life.
That's crazy. Yeah, it is. That's nuts.
Throwing out... music's just never been that big of a part of my life. Throwing out, though, honorable mention to... the Weezer Memories Tour that railed through not too long ago, where they played one night they would play the Blue album, the next night they would play the Pinkerton album with a first set of just random samplings going back in time through all their set. That I went and saw the Pinkerton play, which is my favorite.
I would rather gone to Blue. Oh, you like Pinkerton?
Pinkerton's my favorite album of all time of any band, and so like to see that live was amazing, and just, like because that's one of those albums that I hear in my head, start to finish, because that's how I listen to it so many times. You know what I mean? It all just bleeds.
Which
into
one? Say It Ain't So On.
Blue album. Blue album. Don't get me wrong, Blue Album's one of the... We were also talking about untouchable albums, right? Or like Blue Album's a masterpiece, but Pinkerton's so raw, and I love the fact that... I think we've talked about on the show before, that every song is a different emotion. You know what I mean? That's my Desert Island album, because you can find something for how you feel on every one of those things. However... show I'm saying is the best show I ever went to was at the Blue Note in Columbia, Missouri. I was a freshman in college, knew nobody, and I went to go see Lucky Boys Confusion from Downers Grove, Illinois.
I've seen those motherfuckers.
Yeah, I've seen them. It's funny because I say, it's funny. I've said I've been to less than a dozen concerts. I've probably been to 4 or 5 Lucky Boys shows and 3 Weezer shows, and then like a bunch of random stuff here and there. But like I went to that one and I was like a little bit homesick. You know what I mean? I don't know anybody here. I'm going to see a band that I know from back home.
They're from Chicago.
Yeah, exactly. So I had seen them. They had hit big my senior year with Maybe it was my junior year, but whatever. They had hit big and they were being played on Q101 all over the
Boss
place. No, they hit with the Fred Astaire song.
Oh, right.
Which that was not another. No, that's whatever. They hit with that one. Not another dumb pop song, I think maybe. Anyways, so I knew them, and they were like a taste of home. So I went to go listen to them. But the opening act was a band called Free Food, and they were like ska. They were like, you know, I don't know, somewhere. You know how I'm not Mr. Music genre guy. But they had trumpets and everything, but they were also like a Newfound Glory. They were right in there. They were right.
It's like pop punk, a little ska influences.
Yeah, exactly. Ska influences. There you go. Post ska. Yeah, there you go. And they were awesome, and they were local, and like their lead singer went to Mizzou or whatever. So it was like I went there and then found a bunch of new friends, I guess you'd say, right, with all these people I was watching the show with. Got to connect with this new band. Then he came off stage. I hung out with him a bit. Then Lucky Boys Confusion came on. I was like right in the front, and like Adam spit water on me. And, like it was like all these dumb things of like, that was such a great experience for what I needed right there. Plus I was out doing something I don't normally do, and it was you could walk there and all these different things. That was like a seminal moment, like establishing myself in a new place.
Tim.
Yes. I got a couple stories, and for those of you that have listened to every episode of the show, I might be repeating myself for some of this, but to me, the most influential thing in my entire life that like made me who I am is this record label called Q&5 Music. It's led up by this rapper named Tone Deaf, and he has kind of like self-picked this like group of people that all make different types of rap music. Some of it's not even rap. Like at this point, it's just music.
Yeah,
like a bunch of different types of music. And they were founded like back in like the early 2000s, and I found them then, and it just listening to their music and the perfectionism in every single thing that they do, and just like the thought into every little aspect of what they do. Like they're not just making music, they're thinking about the album cover and how they're distributing it and how people like the forums of their website and how it's an experience to be a part of this music. And I've been a part of that experience for so long. And there are not many fans of these people. They deserve way more. Q&5music.com. Or no, Q&5.com. And
you almost screwed it up.
Yeah. These there's a small group of dedicated fans that have, along with me, from the beginning just been along for the ride, and then just been like supporting these guys as much as we humanly can. And they gave back by doing this one, like they all have day jobs, so they can't like tour and all that stuff. They do every once in a while, but they would have one concert, the Q&5 Mega Show. And since 2006, every year in New York City, they have this one huge gathering where they do all of the artists, one huge concert, and all the fans fly out from all around the world.
Yeah.
And every year it became a bigger and bigger and bigger thing. And it was crazy because I would fly out and I'd like talk to these people on the internet, all your internet friends, and I would finally see these people that I've met for the first time.
Sure.
So it's like, wow.
But you felt like you knew them, right?
It's like we're best friends. And it's like, there's this dude's from New Zealand. And like, I'm like, what? We are the same person. This is crazy talking to you. Like, you like the same thing I do so much. And it's like, we're on the other end of that sometimes when we meet people. And it's just like, they're like, oh, you're so important to me. It's like, to me, it's the other way where I'm like, I understand how that feels because Tone Deaf and all them, when I see them, when I talk to them, I'm like, you don't understand how much you influenced my life. And I'm with all these people that think the same way. And to see these concerts, it's just insane. And every year it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. In 2011, we flew out and they did a History of Q&5 concert where they started it. It was like a 7-hour endeavor. And they did like all of their hits from 2002 in chronological order building up. And then they went into the future and showed off the things that are going to come. And there's like Tone Deaf his last album was in 2005. And I've been waiting for the sequel to it for so long, and there's been so much
you're friends with him at this point, right?
At this point, I'm friends with him, which is awesome, and like it blows my mind the opportunities I've been given. But I've been waiting for this album forever, and like I'm convinced this album is going to change my life again, and I'm just waiting for it, and it's still not out now. But in 2011, at the end of the concert, like the lights went off and a video just goes on the screen. A music video plays of a song that to this day is still unreleased. And we got to see it, and all of us experienced for that moment just like, oh my God. Like, you just played this whole live show for us, and now we're seeing this video together. We all just got chills. We are all just as excited about this as no one else outside of this building gives a shit. But we all care so much, and it ended with a release date.
Oh.
And it was like 3 months from then. And we're just like, oh my God. We're like just freaking out. It didn't happen. But
came and went, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. But like it'll come one day and it'll be amazing. Chico and the Man is the name of the album.
Chico and the Man? That's a great name for an album.
Chico and the Man's the name of the album.
That was almost the name of our new channel.
Chico the
If
man.com.
you're like Tim, he's like, it's taken. Okay,
Yeah,
crap.
so
No.
that holds a very, very special place in my heart. So seriously, guys, please go check out qn5.com. Tone Deaf on Twitter.
Tell him Tim Gettys
Tone
sent you.
Definitely. Moving
I
on
should probably
from that.
tell him kind of funny sent you. That'll
Yeah, kind of.
That's probably the better.
Exactly. Two more quick things. One is you guys have heard the Macklemore story a million times, but to me, live music. If we're gonna talk about that, my first experience, like I heard Macklemore on MySpace, and I'm like, I really.
How
like
long ago?
That was 2008.
Thank you. Just to give the we've heard this story. I want them to understand. You know, I heard Macklemore in this thrift shop video. And I was like, well, I gotta go.
And it's like, to me, I hate the whole like indie thing of just like they're mainstream and I knew them before you did. Like, to
Right,
me, it's
you're not being a
about
hipster,
that.
yeah.
That's why going back to the Q&5, it's just like I want more people to know this. Like, I hate that I'm the only one that knows this. But so with Macklemore, I heard the song, like, I like this, and I heard that he was going to be in Oakland.
Yeah.
So I go to the show, 20 people there, literally 20 people. I'm hanging out with Macklemore. He's like signing things. I got Ryan Lewis's first autograph he ever gave anyone.
Really?
I got it signed. He's just like, literally, no one's ever asked me for this, and I'm like, that's awesome.
Do you still have it?
Yes.
You sell it yet? No. You could have bought. We should put up as a Patreon goal.
Oh, yeah.
Milestone.
And so there's 20 people. And then the next show I went to was a year later, and there was like 100 people. And then the next show I went to, there was like 600 people. And then to see him now, the last show I went to, sold out, thousands of people.
Yeah, he's in the Grammys. Like, he's in the
screaming
Grammys
every word to every single one of his songs. And I'm just like, holy shit. And it's this weird sense of pride. I didn't do shit, but I felt like I did. I was one of those 20 people. You know,
Maybe
and
you
it's
did.
just
I mean,
That's
like-
what we talk about here with
that's
this
the
stuff,
thing.
right? On a smaller scale, about especially what we're doing right now. Everyone's been on the ground floor of this. It's awesome to be a fan of something from the get-go and build with it. You know what I mean? Evolve with it, change with it, and then get to these points where their successes matter. You know what I mean? The kind of funny thing to us is a huge deal, and it's a huge deal, I imagine, to everyone who's watching this.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And it
Yeah.
like
I mean, it's not like being a Fairweather Jets fan or like an Islanders fan.
This guy over here, the worst.
But yeah, like that all feels very special to me. So those are live shows. But besides the rap, my mom took me to a Rolling Stones concert when I was 9.
Really?
And
That's a big deal.
That
That's huge.
blew my mind.
They're
Like,
awesome, huh?
I've seen Kanye and Jay-Z do their thing, and I'm a huge fan of rap. And that was like a spectacle and all of this stuff. Rolling Stones, that's a spectacle.
Yeah.
Those motherfuckers are awesome.
Crazy that they're still alive.
I know,
They're like
they're
109
old.
years
They were
old.
rocking it,
I was
though.
talking to my dad about that recently. I'm like, when he was here visiting, I'm like, man, the Rolling Stones are fucking old. And that's what he said. He's like, yeah, but they fucking rock.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
really do.
all right.
And
That's
they have
fair.
so
That's a
many
fair-
hits, man.
They do. They
Like
do.
watching them live is just like, oh, I love this song. Oh, I love this song. Damn, I love all
I
these
can't
songs.
get no. Yeah, my first, well, not to go off on a tangent, but my first exposure to the Rolling Stones was in a movie called Jumping Jack Flash with Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah,
And I
that's
was
when she's
like-
on the computer, right?
Yeah,
and
she's trying to
talking
guess the
someone.
password and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and it's like, and he's like, the password is something like Jumping Jack, whatever, and so she has to listen
Flash?
to the. Well, I don't think it was Flash, but it was. She buys the album and puts it on and listens to it over and over and over again to try to figure out which lyric is the password to this like code to get this guy from like Russia, and it's a classic 80s.
Gas,
movie.
Yeah,
gas,
that movie's awesome.
It's awesome. But yeah, I was like, who is this
I like that
band? And my mom's like, dude, it's the Rolling Stones. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh. And she's like, also, it's on the album cover that Whoopi Goldberg is holding when she takes it out. And I was like, oh yeah, I wasn't the brightest bulb in the string when I was a
I
child.
like their Windows 95 song.
Didn't they do an iPod commercial? Or was that Aerosmith?
Everybody.
Remember when
U2?
Aerosmith did that? Oh, it was U2.
I don't know.
Colin.
So I'll go quickly. So a few concerts that stick out to me. One was more recent. This was like 2010 or 2011. I finally saw Faith No More.
What is this?
And like so for people that don't know Faith No More, it was founded in the mid '80s, and they originally had a different singer, and then in the late '80s they got another singer, and they made their seminal album with Epic on it, and From Out of Nowhere and all that kind of stuff. Then they made another album. They have 3 really great albums from '89 to like '95. And
San Francisco's
it's
own. Faith No More.
it's one of those bands that I would never imagine that I would ever gotten to see, because when I started listening to them, they like weren't even really together anymore, and I listened to them in like high school and college, and I'm like, that's just so fucking good. Like,
Let me say something super fast.
Yeah.
I was just in Texas a couple weekends ago, and we went to this festival. I got to see A Flock of Seagulls perform,
oh man,
Ooh.
and I ran. And it was the
far
best.
right.
Never thought I'd see that.
they're awesome. The Flock of Seagulls are awesome.
Sorry.
I was reading about them recently. Interesting stories about them. Their guitarist, I didn't realize, was like really young when they started, like in high school. But I got tickets to this show. They played 3 shows in San Francisco. It was like the first time they had played in a long time together. I guess they were playing some festivals overseas, but they never really played domestically. And I didn't really know what to expect. I was like, oh man, it's just like they're just kind of gonna mail it in, and they're doing a few shows, and it's gonna be whatever. And I got there, and I was with Cheryl, who like wasn't excited to be there at all. And I was like, I just love Faith No More. I have faith that this is gonna be a great show. But I was like, I don't know. And they just got on stage and fucking murdered it.
Yeah.
Just murdered it. Just rocked like so hard. I was like so into it. I didn't want that show to end. And even afterwards, Cheryl was not a Faith No More fan. She was like that. She's like, I was really glad I was there for that. That was like an epic show. Another one. Another good one.
Why'd you point him?
Because Epic is their big song.
Oh.
Yeah, you definitely know.
Like what?
And another good one is I've been listening to them a lot recently. They used to be a favorite band of mine when I was a kid, was Stone Temple Pilots, and when I finally got to see them, that was in 2008, so it was like really late. You know, Core and Purple are like 2 of my favorite records from the 90s.
Where do you come down on Stone Temple Pilot or Soundgarden?
Oh, Stone Temple Pilots are way better than Soundgarden.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Does anyone take Soundgarden in that argument?
Soundgarden had like a good album. Stone Temple Pilots had 2 great albums and
because they were
a few other good albums.
They were always the guys that I confused with Pearl Jam. I think just Pearl Jam,
STP
right?
did?
Didn't they always sound a little like Pearl Jam?
Not really. I
Really?
mean, the thing about STP was that they were like totally post grunge. Like they didn't sound like Nirvana or Pearl Jam or like some of these like more whiny.
Which one was
bands,
which
even
one was
though
the
they were
band?
good, you know, like Stone Temple Pilots fucking rocks.
Which one was the band? I was like, "Hey, the girls of fire."
That's Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah.
Like,
they were
get
awesome.
time, wait for tomorrow to find me.
Yeah, see, I always thought that was the song, and I was like, God, I got to get that Pearl Jam album.
Oh no,
And my friends were like, dude, that's not Pearl Jam.
That's a great song. So they released Core in '92 and Purple in '94, and I was really into those records when I was a kid. My sister used to listen to them, but again, I wasn't old enough to go see them. And then they released like Tiny Music and what was Shangri-La La Di Da, I think was one of the records. Like weird stuff. I was like, I don't care about them. And I never thought I'd get, again, and just like Faith No More band, I never thought I'd get to see, and I got to see them at Berkeley. And that venue sucks. The Greek Theater at Berkeley sucks.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fucking terrible
iconic
venue.
theater though.
Yeah, but it sucks because
Like
they have
Radiohead's
sound.
The Greek, that's
Yeah,
so
but
They have
sucks.
sound. They have sound ordinances there. Like you could literally be in the pit and talk to the person next to you. It sucks. But like it's like the worst venue I've ever seen at a show at ever. And
That sucks.
and
that does not sound good.
just because I need it loud, I don't want to fucking hear myself think.
No, you're at a
you know?
music show.
Yeah. So like when you can
It's not
be
a
like, "Hey
lounge
Tim, how
act."
you doing?" in the pit, and you're in the fucking pit. It's like, I don't think so. But but that was awesome. Just to get to see them, and they actually sounded really good. Seeing Journey live was really fucking cool, especially because Heart and Cheap Trick
Was
opened
it-
for them, which was like totally random.
Old Journey or New Journey?
No, New Journey.
Okay.
The Old Journey hasn't played in many years.
I thought maybe you saw them live and you were like, 8.
Oh no, I wish. But then I'd be, and I've seen a bunch of bands that I really enjoyed at different times. I saw Zebrahead a bunch of times before they had their new singer. Yeah, Zebrahead.
Wow.
Zebrahead's awesome. Their first 2 records, Waste of Mine and Playmate of the Year, were great rap rock records. And they've had for 10 years like a new singer, and I refuse to see them anymore. Or listen to their shit because that's whacked out. I used to love
principles.
I used to love a rock band
Principles.
called, like a really awesome rock band called Breaking Benjamin, and I've seen them a bunch of times. And Korn.
They had a song in Halo 2.
Yeah, they did.
Korn also had a song in Halo 2, I think.
And I used to love Korn when I was a kid, and so seeing them was really cool. And,
I saw Korn live once.
I saw Lucky Boys Confusion and Lost Prophets, there's all this sordid shit about Lost Prophets now if you look them up like that. I actually refused to listen to them. I removed them from like all my playlists and stuff like that because the singer was
Pedophile, right?
yeah, he was arrested for like being a pedophile. He's in prison for like the rest of his life.
Wow.
So that's like a little weird. The one show I wish I got to see that I didn't get to see was The Police, and I don't know if people remember.
Sting in the Police?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I don't know if people remember in 2007 the Police got together for like one tour and that was it. And it was a big deal because especially Stuart Copeland hates Sting. Stuart Copeland's the drummer of Police. Like they fucking hate each other. There's like pictures of.
Do you think
him
we'll get
where-
there one year?
Huh?
Like where we're so
I
big
hope
we
so.
just hate each other?
NEP really.
Maybe. There's pictures of even Stuart
Thanks for
Copeland
telling everyone that,
having
Tim.
like fuck Sting on his cymbals and stuff like that. Like
Really?
Like they hate each other, but like they buried the hatchet to like.
To
I
come
think
back
they
one more
got
time.
like
Make
they got like nominated in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and stuff like that, and so I think they just like stayed together. And I had tickets to go see them at Giant Stadium with Ramon. I ended up coming out here for my job instead, so I couldn't go. I had to give my tickets away,
bummer.
and I was like, "Oh, they'll play again."
Oh, Giants, New York Giants.
Yeah,
I was like, that's perfect. What are you talking about? You didn't have to give up anything.
No, like
Colin.
the Giant Stadium that doesn't exist anymore.
Gotcha.
And then I'd be loath not, so I've seen a bunch of Two Skinny Jays, Incubus, a bunch of great shows in my life. And of course, so the two bands that are my favorite to see live are, one is Dredge. Dredge is one of my favorite bands of all time. They're like
It's the guys that have they have that .com, right? The report.
No, that's Drudge.
Oh, okay.
Dredge is like a prog
Is it
rock.
too late
like,
for that kind of joke?
No, that was good. I like that.
Okay.
I like that joke.
Sometimes you shake your head. If I don't get a chuckle out of you, I know it's a failed joke.
No, it's not failed. I'm a hard laugh. I'm a hard sell.
You're not the hard sell. You laugh at everything. You literally make yourself laugh every day.
Here's what you should do: is if I'm laughing,
Toes on the nose.
That's very good.
Sorry, Colin. Continue.
It's okay. I was gonna say Dredge is a prog rock, like art rock band, and they're from San Francisco. And I've loved them actually since I was introduced to them in college. And whenever they tour, I go see them. So I've seen them probably like 10.
How do you
10
know
times.
about when they tour? Is it? Do you follow like a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
go to
music
their-
sites? Do you follow them on Twitter?
Yeah, I follow them on Twitter.
Okay.
They follow me on Twitter, which is awesome.
How do you keep up with these bands?
Well, no, I just thought. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. I mean, I hear a lot of things in my life word of mouth, but I always just feel left behind. Like,
Didn't
I'm
they
always
send you
behind
something?
everything.
Yeah, they sent me a painting actually, which was really cool.
Is it that painting?
No, yeah, not that painting. But they're like a prog rock band, and one of their albums, El Cielo, which came out in 2002, is a concept album, and I love concept albums. And they played it live front to back 2 years ago in Santa Cruz, and I went to see it, and that was like one of the best shows of my life. But of course, I'd be loath not to talk about 311. I've seen 311 21 times. And,
Jesus Christ, that's awesome.
And so what people make fun of 311, and that's fine. Like, just go and see them constantly.
I would see 311.
And-
Next time
they're-
you go see 311, I want to go see 311.
they're
in
awesome.
town.
Number 22.
And I think that they're just a really
Let's podcast for
They're
the
really
show.
a really special band. For me, like they're always gonna be my favorite band of all time, even though I'm not crazy about their newer stuff. Except for that record that just came out, it's actually pretty good. But the stuff of the last 10 years hasn't been very good. But I always go see them when I can. And they're just awesome live. They're one of those bands that's actually better live than they are on the records. Like they're just and they're well known for being a good live band. Like a lot of people admit that about them, that they're a touring band and you go see them, and that's like that's when you enjoy them.
I thought the same thing about Metallica. I went and saw Metallica once. Just my friend was a huge fan. I think I told the story on one of the podcasts. It was a summer sanitarium, like 2002 or something like that. It was Metallica, Korn, Power Man 5000.
Oh my god, this is what it's like when worlds collide. Ready to go, I'm ready to go. What you gonna do, baby? That's Rob Zombie's brother.
That was amazing.
Really?
Yeah,
That makes sense.
that's yeah.
I thought it was them and System of a Down. System of a Down was actually pretty awesome.
System of a Down's awesome.
And I was never a Metallica fan. I think I've said this multiple times until I saw them live, and I was like, oh wow! Like I have never liked this music. You know, you like the music, but you're like, okay, it's entertainment, whatever. You see them live, and you're like, these guys were made for live shows. They are so good. The sound is like infinitely better than you can hear on CD. It's inexplicable. I can't even explain.
Yeah,
it,
they're an awesome metal band, like thrash metal and stuff like that. Like that stuff's awesome live.
and they've just been performing since like '81. So it's like
Yeah. They did a
30 years of
a
performances.
show with the San Francisco Symphony, and there's like a Blu-ray of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so freaking epic.
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
So
they're a great band. Metallica's an awesome band, and you know, I always appreciate when people latch on to one of those bands, whether it be Metallica or whoever that they see a lot, and they enjoy seeing live, because that's the way I feel about 311. Like I just think that they're the best live band.
Well, let me ask you this.
And just real quick, I just want to tell the story before I forget.
Sure.
I saw the two biggest trips I ever took to see music was Ramon and I went to Ramon and I in 2004 went on a plane to New Orleans, like with no money. Just got plane tickets. I went and saw 311 in New Orleans at 311 Day down there. And 311 Day they do on March 11th every other year. It's when they play like 75 or 80 songs in an arena. And so like most of their catalog, including like rarities and B-sides.
I didn't know they had that many songs.
I mean, they've been together since 1989, so they have like a ton of songs. They have
Wow.
13 albums, I think. Plus like all their B-sides and their collections and stuff like that. And we went down there and we ended up making some great friends that we are still good friends with down there that stayed with us in a hotel. We met them at the show. It was just a good time. And then we drove down 2 years later to Memphis to go see them again at 311 Day down there with those guys that we met in New Orleans. And we just kind of, we created a great camaraderie with a bunch of people that we met at all these shows. Some of them, I don't remember their names anymore. Some of them, we would just see them at the shows over the summer. There was a time when I saw 311 6 times back to back, like in 6, or I think it was a week, every awesome. Like subsequent show. That's like, they mean a lot to me, and they'll always be a band that's really special to me. But on the other side of that, one of my favorite records of all time is Dookie, Green Day's Dookie. And Nimrod's also one of my favorite Green Day albums. And they were one of the first bands contemporary bands I really, really, really got into at the time they were out. Because my parents love music. They're really into music. And they got me into music when I was really young. I was listening to Moody Blues and, all sorts of, shit that 6-year-olds don't listen to, but I was listening to. Green Day was the first band I really, at the time, was like really hardcore into, and I never got to see them. My parents wouldn't let me go see them during the Dookie tour, or during the Insomniac tour, or during the Nimrod tour. And when Warning came out, that album sucked, and then I was just like kind of over it. And when
I love
American
your path to like love, and then just it plummets.
well, I call
one
it,
album is all they get.
Well, Warning's bad. But when American Idiot came out, and a lot of you guys remember, that was a big deal. And so I was in Boston, and I saw them in
really
Boston that year. And that was the most disappointing show I'd ever been to.
Really?
Because they were great, but they just played American Idiot and like 2 other singles.
Really?
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like they didn't do any deep cuts on Dookie, or deep cuts from Kerplunk, or deep cuts from Insomniac. Like they played
crazy.
King for a Day, I think, from Nimrod. I was just so disappointed and dejected leaving that concert. And the cool thing about it was that some of that bad taste was washed out of my mouth when several years later I met them. I did a thing for IGN Music where I like interviewed them for half an hour on camera. It's like on YouTube probably, or on IGN.
That's generally what happens to the content we make at IGN.
Yeah, but I just don't know how you would find it because we don't really do music anymore. But it was so cool because they were so nice, and like so friendly and so down, and they loved it. I was asking them like really hard questions about like old records and stuff like that. This is when whatever the 21st Century Breakdown, or whatever the fuck that record was, and that they were actually some of the nicest dudes ever. The only cooler time I can think of meeting a band was when we were at
Good
311 Day, and Good Charlotte.
Yeah, I would love to see Colin in Good Charlotte.
I like a couple Good Charlotte records. I like pop punk.
Who's the lead singer from Good Charlotte?
Joel Madden.
Yeah, I think I walked by him one time.
I like pop punk, so I wouldn't. I mean, that stuff has a place. But when we went to Memphis 311 Day, we met 311 at a bar before the show. It was like 4 or 5. We were going to like line up at the arena to like try to get good seats because it was general admission, and they were the 5 of them were sitting at a bar, and it was like really surreal. And we sat next to them, and they took pictures with us, and like, were really cool and signed autographs. And their manager gave us like after party tickets and stuff like that.
Wow.
And, like, it was like a really surreal 5 minutes of my life. And they're like, "All right, guys, we got to go.
We're gonna go play a show for you." You're like, "Cool." I'll be
And
there.
I remember the one thing I remember about it is the rapper in 311 Essay had like a cast on his or like some sort of like bandage on his arm, on his hand. And I went to shake his hand, and he couldn't shake my hand. And he gave me his left hand instead. And the reason was because 311, like a couple months earlier, got into a bar fight with Scott Stapp from Creed, and SA punched him in his face and like fucked his hand up on it. It's like in the news, you guys can read about it. Like Scott Stapp was like talking shit to the guy's wife and stuff like that, and like they got into this huge fight in like an LA bar.
Wow.
And so I always remember his hand was all fucked up because he broke it on the Creed guy's face.
So I know this will be tough for a lot of people to follow, but if you go to Google and put in IGN Green Day interview, the first thing you find is in fact a Colin interview. And I just love look at the framing. I'm sure our
It's all Colin.
stat boy will put it up there.
So I remember this. They
put there's all if you're listening to the audio version, the opening shot is Colin sitting there, all 3 of the band members over on his left, but then there's candles surrounding you.
I was gonna say, so this is the only interview. This was early, like when I wasn't really doing on camera stuff. I was really scared.
Yeah.
That was a really nervous time for me, but that was the only time I ever gave an interview where they filmed it themselves and gave us tapes.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Like junket, yeah.
Like they were like, they were like, nope, here's your tapes. This is one angle. This is the other angle. See you later.
See, get out.
I actually saw Green Day, and I had the polar opposite experience.
Because you probably saw them in a little club and they played songs that were good.
No, I saw them at the Galaxy, wherever the LA Galaxy play. I think, or maybe it was like the Home Depot Stadium. Was
that Home Depot?
They're at a Home Depot.
That was awesome. Yeah, they were in the lumber department. No, I saw them. My friend was like, "Hey, do you want to go to a Green Day concert?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" I mean, I'm a so fan of Green Day, and they started off with it was an awesome show. They just started off with like, "Do you have the time?" And I was like, "I'm in. I'm hooked. This is amazing." Yeah. And to listen to me whine.
That song's.
It's so good.
Nothing and everything.
Dookie
is
like,
so
okay.
amazing.
And then
What
they
an
just
album.
it just kept going, and they went into American Idiot, and I was like, this is a really cool show. And then it was done, and I'm like, And then I don't think I've thought of Green Day again since you just brought it up, honestly. Or actually, there was that whole there was Guitar Hero for a while. Rock Band.
Yeah,
I remember
when 311 was in guitar, like finally was in Guitar Hero, and I was like so stoked, and then just never played Guitar Hero ever again.
My favorite Green Day story is not my Green Day story, and names will be withheld to protect the innocent and drunk in this. But a former coworker of ours once was at a bar drunk, just drunk with his friends who are all drunk. And somebody walked
me?
into that bar. No, somebody walked into that bar and said, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and Trey Cool's next door at the bar, is at the bar next door. And the coworker gets up and grabs and goes, you just say Trey Cool's at the bar next door? And he goes, yeah. Coworker turns to his friends and goes, I'm going to go punch him in the face. And went to the other bar and went around the entire bar going, you seen Trey Cool? Hey, where's Trey? They never found him, but Jesus.
Trey Cool.
No, because like cut 2 moments before, someone's like, Trey, someone's coming to punch you in the face.
Oh, guys, I got to go.
Guys, I can't. This is the moneymaker.
Trey, I mean,
He goes up to the guys like, have you seen Trey Cool? He's like, no.
as a young drummer, man, Trey Cool, like when I was coming up playing drums, like Trey Cool and Adrian Young from No Doubt were like,
No Doubt's a good.
oh
band.
my god, like,
go see
oh
No
no,
Doubt.
that's one of the bands. We'll do it as a topic another time, but that's one of the bands like I need to see, and I only want to see.
I was
going
going
to
to ask that, but
Kingdom.
we should wait on that because I was going to say
Right,
what
we're
are the
getting
top
into the
like
weeds
few
here.
bands
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you haven't seen that you want to see.
We've given people their topic.
But
true.
but real quick, just everyone out there, go see
you
live
not
music, man. Pay your favorite bands to go see them. Like that's how they make
That's how
money.
they make
and,
money.
We still gotta buy those Tech 9 Weezer tickets.
oh, that show's like Saturday.
Damon
Oh,
always.
oops, we're not going to that show.
No,
Hatfield used to see Tech 9 all the time, right? Isn't Damon a huge Tech 9
Yeah.
fan?
Him
We
and
were
I both
gonna
are.
go
We
see-
went and saw him in
but-
Petaluma.
but we were gonna go
That's where
see.
we saw The Real Ritz, White Jesus. His new album's out. Everybody go get it. Next to
I haven't
Nothing,
listened to
Ritz.
this yet. I need to.
Strange Music shout out.
But why are you saying like we're gonna go see Tech 9? The most important thing we were gonna go see at that show was Limp Bizkit, which is another
I
band that I
couldn't
really
remember
need
who
to
else was
see.
on the docket.
That's all I care about.
Tim.
At
Is that really this weekend?
How
Yeah,
much?
it's on
What's
Saturday.
the maximum you would pay to see Limp Bizkit right now?
Oh shit.
Max.
I'd pay.
Like out of
To be
pocket.
completely honest, like
Yeah.
$23.
I would have said 20.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd pay for a good spot.
covered stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what?
I'd pay 50.
I'd push it. I wouldn't go 50.
You
I'd
wouldn't
go
go 50?
30. They
You go 30,
They
yeah.
deserve $30.
Dude, watch some of their shows, like their recent shows on YouTube. Like they're fucking good live. I don't care what anyone says.
If they
They're
do,
awesome.
if they do
Biscuits
rolling,
in the house,
the Too Fast, Too Furious
Oh, damn, you're
version,
right, it is
I'll go to
this week.
50.
Roll.
What?
All right.
Limp.
Tim,
Yes.
what's your topic?
So, guys, we're gonna do something a little different today.
Okay.
Okay.
Recently, this is a
Does
really
it involve
old
me
thing.
taking my shirt off because I had no nudity? We talked about
I'd
that.
like that. It would
All
make it a little bit better. So, on
I make a
Reddit,
prediction. You'll never take your shirt off on this show.
Not
on
anymore.
this channel.
Not anymore.
Not
Oh.
anymore. What does that even mean?
that's a challenge.
It's never gonna happen.
That's gonna be one of the tiers on Patreon.
I'll tell you what. I will take my shirt off if we somehow get me a personal trainer to yak me out, and then I'll do it. If I can look like Alfredo
Then you
with
gotta
his
do it
shirt
before
off,
and after.
I'll totally do it.
We'll see.
No, I'll just do the after. It's
Just
a
the
lot
after,
less embarrassing.
after, and
Yeah.
even more after.
After, and then after.
But okay, so here we're always talking about this evolving with each other.
Mm-hmm.
What if we did it where I don't know how we do it, but we do a video. If we, one of the things could eventually be on there, right, as a milestone goal that if we hit this much money we're making, we would hire a personal trainer to get us all to for 1 month for all 4 of us to be under a personal trainer's tutelage, and we'll
like
film
this.
it and put up videos of it and stuff.
I
Can
would
you
need to
imagine?
be more than a month. Unfortunately,
is that not
for
how
all of us.
bodies work?
No. It would need to be
I
like
only
a
know how to
6-month
work out based on Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and that happens pretty quickly.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's quite like that in real life. We can talk about our perks later.
That's so stupid. God, that was dumb. All right, sorry. Anyways,
So on Reddit, there's a subreddit
Uh-huh.
called 50/50.
okay.
Okay.
Now, this has been going on a long time. I'm really late to this party. But what it is, it's a bunch of different threads that'll say 2 things.
Okay.
And you don't know which one it is. You click on it. 50% chance it's what each of those things.
Okay.
One of those things is really good. One of those things is really bad.
Now, can you click back and then click the night? There
Yes.
doesn't matter. Okay.
Yes, like that's
So it's
how
not
it
like
works.
it's not like you're locked out.
So there's a lot of
It's not
people
like a
that do
one-time
this
use for Reddit.
challenge
I don't know.
where it's like the 50/50 challenge
crazy.
where you
I
just
don't
go
get it.
through and
Oh.
you try to decide which one's it going to be, and then you click on it and you're like, ah. So this is going to be weird for the audio listeners. This is going to be weird for the video listeners specifically.
we'll be very
Because-
explanatory.
Oh, do you need
Yeah.
my computer?
Yes, we do need a computer.
Okay.
But hopefully this topic will work out where our reactions.
So our reactions are going to be the funny part. And
Hopefully.
are we
We'll see.
We're betting on what we're doing, or just we're
I mean,
guessing?
we're gonna guess. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. We'll read what it is, see which one it's gonna be, and then go for it.
Okay, you've already
All
pulled
right.
it up.
Oh, wow, it's really big.
Did you refresh it?
Yeah, I'll refresh it. It is really big. That's-
Okay,
that's
so
what she
number
said.
1 is smoking hot body under a robe, not safe for work, or a damn ugly fish,
What is NS?
Not safe for life.
not safe
Not
for
safe
life.
for life.
All right,
I'm gonna
let's-
say it's a damn ugly fish.
I'm gonna say it's the. I'm hoping it's the one with the robe.
I'm going with the robe.
Robe.
Nailed it.
That's a damn ugly fish if I ever
really-
saw one.
That thing terrifies me. It looks like a Star Wars
It doesn't look
character.
that bad, actually, though.
It looks like Admiral Akbar
I've seen
from Star
uglier
Wars.
fishes.
It's a triumph.
It's got a nose. It's got like a face. It doesn't look that bad.
It's got a man mouth.
Yeah, I don't think fishes are supposed to have noses and stuff.
I
looks
know they're
like-
not supposed to, but I'm
does
saying
have
he's
a man
not
mouth.
like the worst looking fish I've ever seen in my life.
This is a man.
I think-
You want to save the picture?
No?
Yeah, no.
Why?
That's the thing. There might be some bad stuff.
Yeah, we're not.
showing it.
The whole point is if it's not gonna ruin your life, we'll show it to you, and if it will, maybe I don't know. Kevin's
All right,
on it.
we'll see.
Kevin's our.
I don't want to do the next one. I want nothing to do with that one.
Okay, no, we need to.
No.
Oh, wait, what?
Oh my god. So
Nope,
it's either.
let's not do that one.
Okay, we don't even read it aloud. What about this one?
We're not doing the challenge, but okay. So
Well,
That one's
Allison,
pretty brutal.
Allison Brie laughing.
Oh, you're
Or-
jumping down there. Okay.
Overtaking car smashes head on into motorbike. Truck runs over biker and passenger.
I hope to God it's Allison.
I'm gonna
Brie
say it's
laughing.
Allison Brie laughing.
I want it to be Allison.
It's
Brie
not
laughing.
going to be Alex.
I'm going for the overtaking car.
It's
Told
Allison.
you.
Oh, God,
Okay.
she's
Allison
so
Brie.
good
Oh my
looking.
God.
Why is she so
Oh,
perfect?
she's adjusting things. Those are good things
like
to
how she's
adjust.
pulling, and she's
dear.
adjusting them so that they're more prevalent.
It's good.
She knows
Which
how to
was
sell
amazing.
Community because that show's doing great.
Halloween mask put on a dog.
Love that. I
It's-
love when
it's
people
noted
dress
as
like dogs.
not safe for work. Double negatives are good. Or a partial facial reconstruction surgery from the Civil War.
Civil War.
Civil War.
It's gonna be so.
I'm with the dog.
All right.
Okay. Whoa, that's disgusting looking.
Yeah, this guy got screwed over in this one for sure.
So he's missing
What?
half of his face.
His lower jaw is gone
Why does it look like he has tentacles?
because that's how. Yeah, that's how they peeled it back.
That's weird. What is
I don't
that,
understand this.
Yeah, my God.
I don't know.
That's
though?
freaky.
Dear.
Oh dear, I don't like that one.
Okay.
All right, wait a minute. You got to do this one.
A girl in a bikini does several backflips on the beach. Or woman in court gets knocked out when judge throws his
I want this so-
That's both awesome.
I
don't
really
want
care
it to-
which one it is.
I want
want
it to be the judge.
I do too.
Okay. I'm
do
going
you-
with the bikini backflips.
What do you want, Colin?
I want it to be either one of them. I don't care. They both sound great to me.
Oh, now. Oh, it's the girl
Hey!
doing
It's
backflips.
backflips.
Those aren't backflips. That's a backflip.
Can
What
you-
was the first thing?
Back handsprings.
God, you're such a nerd.
I only know that because
Can you go back? No, I
Kara
want
gives
the other
me
one. I
hella
want-
shit because she can't backflip, but she can
You want the other
handspring.
one?
Yeah, I want to see. Can we try to just click it again to see if we can get the other one? 'Cause I
No,
want
it doesn't work that way.
no. It's like one truth and a lie.
Yeah.
Oh
One
wait!
backflip.
So I thought it was. Oh, okay. So I totally misunderstood.
Yeah,
the
see, I
premise.
thought it was the same
I thought it
thing.
was like randomly generated.
Oh.
No. One's real, one's fake.
Oh, okay.
Little
Damn
girl-
it! I wanted to see the guy that the judge too.
Okay.
No, we got to do this one. That's amazing.
All right.
Little girl successfully wrestles a crocodile.
Or
Or homeless man tries to earn money by drinking kerosene till he projectile vomits it
Jesus.
through a fire.
It's the
want it to
girl.
be the
It's
girl.
got to be the girl.
I want to see a successful crocodile.
It's got to be the
wrestle.
homeless.
It's got to be the girl.
The homeless man.
Please be the girl. Yeah, it's the girl.
Oh.
Oh my!
Damn.
Wow, she's aggressive.
It's funny
Look at
because
that.
outside on the
Oh,
other.
she got him dead. What?
What?
She just blow him?
No, she
Oh,
blew
not
on
like-
him.
oh,
She
blew
blew
on
on
him.
him. No one.
Let's keep it PG.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah,
I saw it on Reddit
crocodiles-
earlier. There was a guy who tried to wrestle an alligator, got bit. It's terrible. And he's just like a normal guy. It was
She
like
was aggressive.
Okay.
Jeez.
Naked jump workout or untreated poison ivy.
poison
rash.
ivy.
It's gonna be
Oh,
poison
wow,
ivy.
it's
It's gonna be
naked.
untreated.
Going nudie.
It's gonna be poison,
poison ivy.
It's poison ivy.
Oh my God!
Lord Almighty! They're
There's just-
giant.
There's boils.
They're giant blisters and.
Is that possible?
That's the
I used to get
biggest
poison
blister I
ivy
ever
all the
saw.
time, and it never looked like
But
that.
did you leave it untreated like that?
No, I used to take oatmeal baths.
Yeah. So you didn't do anything.
Call it an oatmeal bath.
How to do it?
All right.
Okay. Dad shows little girl how to fire a sniper rifle, or dog attacks a man groin first and rips it off.
It's the girl. It's the sniper rifle.
The girl, I mean, the groin sounds a little too descriptive.
Yeah, exactly. That's giving it away, and it is sniper rifle.
That's awesome.
And it's a tiny little girl. With
And that's a big-
gigantic
that is a big-
sniper rifle.
That's some sniper wolf shit.
I was trained on the battlefield.
This is the prequel.
Yeah, that's sniper wolf. Good call.
Amazing big natural boobs bouncing, or grandma from hell.
Grandma from hell.
Grandma from hell. Yeah. Oh, and that's
And
Ma
it's-
Fratello.
yeah.
Yeah.
nothing.
It's Throw
No,
Mama.
boo,
That's
that's a bad one.
actually I think it's still from Throw Mama from the Train, which was the only
Yeah.
other movie I remember her from. Which is really,
Okay,
really weird.
let's skip that one.
Okay.
Lady's butt pushing out.
Yeah,
Poop.
let's do that one.
Lady's butt pushing out poop, or naughty lady nude and smoking.
Oh, okay. I really
Poop,
wanted to be the
poop.
smoking one.
Poop.
This game sucks.
Get better Wi-Fi.
We can start filming at your house if you think you got better Wi-Fi. How
Nah,
about
you
that?
wouldn't. You wouldn't want to deal with my wife.
Ooh. Oh, it's smoking.
She's smoking.
Is she pooping?
Wow.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
What if she was doing both? And they're like, gotcha, it's both.
Trick question.
Hot summer southern blonde blind girl leads spoiled cow to glory. What the fuck? Or pregnant cow kicks cowgirl through
Jesus.
fence, removing top half of her face and hair.
I don't want to see this.
We
one.
got to. Now it's been read. We have to do it.
The first one, I hope.
God.
Hot southern blind girl leads spoiled cow to
Why
glory.
is she blind?
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Oh,
So okay. Yeah. So if it's a blind girl who's like showing a cow at like a.
she's holding the cow and
4-H
she has
fair.
a blind stick too. It's crazy.
Oh, thank God it wasn't.
Thank
the
God
other
it's
thing.
not the top of her
wow.
head.
My God.
Pile of oozing lacerated fish tongues or
Yeah.
Ray J in love. This is not gonna be good.
Ray J in love.
Let's go, Ray J.
This is not gonna be good.
Oh,
it's Ray J.
God.
Ray J from I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is
The
an animated GIF
Kardashian,
from the Kardashians.
They're just all they're doing is making out though. It's just the rubbing
Hold on,
tongues.
no, Greg. They're not making out. They're licking each other's tongues.
I guess I have a different definition of making out.
Guess you're right.
Next time I ask you to make out, know that that's what I'm
I just
planning on
think
doing.
Ray J knows what's up.
Okay, point of view of a speeding motorcyclist's fatal accident, or kittens released into IKEA showroom.
God, I hope
Kittens.
It's got to be the kittens. I've seen videos. Of that
Motorcycle.
You
before.
know what's sad about that though is the kittens probably never found their way out.
Oh,
Oh,
no!
shit.
It's the fatal accident.
Oh my God, it's coming! This is
Oh God, I want. Oh! That's. Oh man.
that could have been visually worse.
Yeah. There's no blood
Like,
or anything, but you just like know it's you're waiting with anticipation for this guy to turn wrong.
Oh my God, that fucking car.
Jesus Christ!
That's terrible.
How many more are we gonna do?
I
How
don't
many
know.
are we gonna take?
Let's keep going for a bit.
Okay.
Let's
see.
do one more. How long do we
Okay.
have? How long is the segment?
Wow, it's been like maybe 10 minutes,
All right.
but I mean
Long-
we're a minute or
How
an
about this
hour
one?
at 30 in.
That one.
Oh, let's go.
Let's see that one.
A parrot showing a cat who's the boss, or a vagina that looks like
Souvlaki.
a souvlaki.
What's a souvlaki?
It's gonna be the souvlaki. Yeah, there it is. That's a souvlaki.
That's a look at those nipples.
I don't want to look at this anymore.
I don't
Please go
understand.
back.
No, keep it.
No, it won't go back. Thank God.
Is a souvlaki a severed limb? Like
Isn't it?
what?
Isn't it food? Food of some sort.
Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah.
Well, I can't end on that note.
Let's end on puppy chases a leaf or man eats a dead mouse.
Okay.
Not safe for work ish
Ish.
is how they say man eats dead mouse. Damn, it's a YouTube video, the Dead Mouse Challenge,
What?
and it only has 21,000 views.
If we have to,
We don't.
somehow
All we
eat
do
a
is
dead mouse,
bullshit on this
pissed
show,
off.
and we have more views than the guy who eats a dead mouse.
Oh no.
Oh God.
It's also 3
It's
minutes.
fake.
That's real.
How do you know it's real?
Because I've fed dead mice, or I've had dead mice. I worked at an animal
Shelter?
preserve.
Okay.
And I had to feed like
Snakes?
the raptors and whatnot.
The velociraptors?
No, like birds of prey.
Oh god.
I once had to cut a rat in half with scissors. That was disgusting.
I would have chopped it in half with that.
All right, I can't watch
Yes.
this.
Skip forward. Skip forward a
I'm
bit.
sorry, everybody. God.
Tim, you are so a glutton for punishment with these things. I don't.
Oh God.
Okay, that's enough.
I
of
didn't
that.
need to see
We're
that.
done. He's
The little mouse was.
It's not worth the
We're done
21,000
with
views, bro.
When he started like coughing up a leg, I'm
okay.
like,
Stop.
I
Stop.
can't
Let's
do
stop
this.
talking about it, please. Let's find something to clear our tongue.
Just
A house
Google
made of,
search boob.
Do the house made of multicolored brown
like
glass.
Control F something.
Or
a very badly anorexic woman.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be the woman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was.
Oh
it's
my
terrible.
god! Why'd you skip off this one? I didn't even get a chance to
it's-
look at it.
terrible.
It wasn't on purpose. I moved my finger. There you go. You happy?
God, look at her arm.
yeah, that's weird.
That's
Don't do
terrible.
that to yourself, everybody. Team
What?
fat.
Team fat.
Eat what you want. Do what you want. Only do workouts if it gets backed on
Let's see.
Patreon.
Woman on a subway tries to avoid watching an awkward pole dance, or elephant drowns a man by using his trunk to hold him underwater.
That's terrifying, but
That's what we're clicking on.
I have to click on it.
I hope it's the pole dance. It is.
Yo,
Good.
it's the pole dance.
Good. We can end on that.
Damn, she's going for it too. And that girl's just like, I'm not looking at this.
I think,
The
yeah,
girl's
'cause
kind of cute though. Am I wrong? Not the pole dancing one. She's a little.
she is
She's
cute.
let herself go a bit.
I like you needed like confirmation that the beautiful woman in a dress is beautiful.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, That's another episode of the Game Over Greggy Show. This is how it works every week. 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather around this table. Each bring a random topic of discussion for your amusement. If you like that, you can go get the audio version and the video version of the show early every Friday for a nominal fee over at kindafunny.com. Or if you don't think we're worth the bucks, we don't either, buckaroo. Go to youtube.com/kindafunny. Hope that one checks out. And get the videos for free the whole next week leading up to it. But then you'll be like, this show is really good. I need to go back on Patreon. Support them. Do things with them. Go watch the 100 Pence video. Share it with all your friends. Watch the Patreon video. If you're listening to this as the audio version, thank you for sticking it out with us. Stick with us a little bit longer. Wait on Monday. Go watch the videos. Tell all your friends then.
And it's patreon.com/kindafunny. Kinda funny.
Yeah. Promote it then. We're giving away a 100 Pence bobblehead that's signed by him. Mm-hmm. If you tweet the show out, we go through, or even Facebook it, we're going to go through, find them all, and then we'll pick one winner to give it to. Go buy shirts at districtlines.com/GameOverGreggy. Now, kindafunny.com/store for ease and convenience. Until then, it's the first step of our new lives, and we're happy you're taking it with us. We love you very much. It's been our pleasure to serve you. Good evening.